History is a nightmare from which we are trying to awaken. Game 3 of the 1994 Eastern Conference Finals. Indiana holds New York to an NBA playoff record low 68 points. A Knick nightmare. Welcome New York to Game 3 once again. Game 2 of the 1994 Western Conference semifinals. Phoenix comes from 20 points behind in the fourth quarter. The biggest comeback in NBA playoff history. Welcome Houston to Game 2 once again. Tonight, we invite you to great theater. The Knicks try to put the past in its place and take the upper hand against the Pacers. Then, the Rockets try to exorcise the ghosts. And even the series with the Suns. Turn your back on history. The NBA playoffs on TNT continue.
May in Indianapolis, the focus in the past has been the Brickyard, the Indianapolis 500. But the past 2 years, all about town, the attention has been on the Indiana Pacers. For only the second time in their NBA history, Market Square Arena will host a second-round playoff contest. Tonight, inside, before a sellout crowd of over 16,000, it is Game 3 between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers. Hello again, everybody. I'm Rob Doolin. It was once said that you can't coach effort, you can only coach execution. And that is something that Larry Brown found out about in a very difficult way on Tuesday night. Very displeased with his effort as his team lost Tuesday to the Knicks, evening this series at 1 game apiece. My broadcast partner once again is Hubie Brown. He was very disappointed in the effort, especially from some of his key players.
Well, you have to look and say that the defensive intensity was lacking, but then the offensive toughness that needed in order to execute versus a good defensive team was definitely missing. Now you can see their 4 main scorers on the left only had 29 shot attempts, 9 for 29. In game 1, the same 4 guys had 56 shot attempts. That's a difference of 27. When you look to the right, and you can see the incredible amount of turnovers. 21 turnovers from 27 shots. So you can see if they're going to do it in this building tonight, they need maximum execution.
Well, the execution was there and the effort was there for the New York Knicks, and they won what would we call hustle points.
Yeah, absolutely. Patrick Ewing, only 26 minutes, and when you think about your main horse being out, you need depth, and you can see it right there. 5 players in double figures. Then the hustle points. 5-0 in blocks, 14-4 in steals, the forced turnovers 35, which gave them 41 points. Absolutely a tribute to 5 guys working hard.
Well, let's talk about the injury problems right now. Rick Smits had back spasms, did not practice yesterday, but he is expected to play tonight. Patrick Ewing still nursing the sore calves. What about that matchup in the center position?
Well, you have to look at it this way. You know, the minutes are down, and the reason being foul trouble, not the injuries. So naturally, that will affect the points of both guys as well as the field goal percentage. But this is still the key matchup in this series.
Well, Hubie, Game 3 has not been very kind to the New York Knicks in the playoffs. Prior to beating Cleveland in the first round in Game 3, they had lost 8 straight Game 3s, including the last 2 to these Indiana Pacers. We'll step aside, send it back to Atlanta with Ernie Johnson, then back to Indianapolis. Knicks and the Pacers, Game 3. They are loud, they are excited, and they are ready for Game 3 between the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks. So we take a look at tonight's starting matchups.
On the big key tonight, Derek McKee on Smith and Mason, and then Jackson on Harper. They need a defensive stop at both positions.
Now, these are 2 drastically different teams. With more on that, our sideline reporter, Kevin Kiley. Kevin?
Ron, you know, over the last couple of days, I've had an opportunity to talk with virtually all the starters on both teams, and one thing stood out. When you talk about the Indiana Pacers, guys like McKee and Rick Smits and Antonio Davis, these guys are nice guys, very soft-spoken and laid back. And then you go and you talk to the Knicks, forget about basketball. These guys will go after you in a conversation. Ewing and Mason and Oakley and all of these guys. And I have to believe, Hubie, that in a very tough playoff series, that personality factor has got to be big.
Well, they've eliminated them 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and this year, naturally, it's up for grabs. But they are 2 of the top 4 defensive teams, as well as 2 of the top 4 teams giving up the fewest amount of points.
Well, how about a 4-time winner of the Indianapolis 500, A.J. Foyt, tossing up the first ball this evening. He throws it in to referee Dan Crawford. A lot of the Indy drivers on hand tonight, and we are set. Patrick Ewing once again. There's A.J. Foyt, 4-time winner of the big race they have here in just a couple of weeks. Patrick Ewing once again, he'll be wearing that so-called wrap on his left leg to keep it warm. Patrick Ewing telling us he'd like to play 35 minutes. Pat Riley says, I wish he could play 35. Eddie T. Rush, Bobby Delaney, and Dan Crawford are officials this evening.
Well, in the early going, Indiana must concentrate on Harper. He's been able to run the shot clock down. Now they're opening up with a little bit of a weave, and you saw the collision.
Once again, though, a Nick Guard able to penetrate. We have a whistle and a foul.
That reminded me of 1940 basketball. Everyone used to weave the basketball. When 2 defensive players would collide, which we just saw, then you would dribble down. Now just watch what happens. We get a good screen there, opens up the lane for Starks. He takes it all the way and just blows the shot. Larry Brown wants to keep the offensive player in front of his people tonight, and then take care of the defensive board, because they must get out in transition to open up the 3-point game.
Charles Smith misses both. Now, he popped a thigh on Tuesday, was bruised up, and came out limping into the ball game. Pat Riley said he really couldn't get it going after that.
That's a back screen for Smits, and they'll play 2-man right here.
Ewing playing behind him. A lot of blue jerseys slapping at the basketball. Indiana has possession with 8 on the shot clock.
I like the way Larry Brown's starting out. He's playing on his strength on the same side of the floor. Smits and Reggie Miller.
Miller cuts underneath. That was beautiful.
Anytime that happens to a defender, you think that you've defended the guy, and then it's a late pass.
Now Mark Jackson whistled for the foul. That is his first second team foul, but that is something that Reggie Miller was not able to do in Game 2, is get away from John Starks at least for a second. Pat Riley said he wants to go at the point guard position and the small forward of Indiana, wants to make them defend. Harper had a field day on Jackson on Tuesday. 10 to shoot. Another whistle, another foul.
Anytime that you play Charles Smith, you always have to be concerned with that first step. Now, Derek McKee is 6'10", as well as Charles Smith, and they're playing a small forward position. They both handle fairly well, but then their first step off a reverse move, you've got to really move.
The 3 by Starks, nothing but the bottom of the net. He was 16 of 40 for the playoffs coming into tonight.
He's been hot. During the year, he averaged almost 8 attempts a game. At playoff time, he's averaging 6.
Dale Davis, very aggressive as soon as he got the basketball, just turn and shoot. He had no hesitation this time.
Well, I like that, because basically he's a garbage man. Gets everything. No plays are run for him, so it's either offensive rebounding or as a last resort. Look out.
Ewing baseline.
That's there. That's a given. Anytime Harper wants to blow by Jackson, he can. That opens up the baseline jump shots, which we saw in Game 2.
Of course, back in '94 in the playoffs, Pacers dropped 2 in a row to New York and in New York. Come back to win the next 3, and it goes.
Very tough shot by Mark Jackson. Harper's by himself here.
Miller meets Starks. They want Starks to shoot. Shot clock, a lot of time, 13. Ewing rolls, Starks kicks it back out. Oakley pulls the trigger. The putback, Smith.
Got to stay on the offensive board. You cannot release. They caught Derek McKee releasing that time. Smith just went right in and got the shot.
Whistle and a foul on Derek Harper. That'll be Derek's first personal, first team foul.
I'm Larry Brown, I'm concerned. Harper is already, and so is Starks, broken down our half-court defense easily off the dribble.
That's exactly the plan for Pat Riley. Whistle and a foul, says Bob Delaney. And that'll be on Ewing. His first. He has been in foul trouble both games in the first half. Spending most of the time on the bench.
And both centers really have been shocked at the fouls which have been called because they're used to rumbling down inside a little bit of World Wrestling 8 or 9 or whatever tournament they're in these days.
Whatever. With Lawrence Taylor, of course. Pacers 3 of their last 4, they've hit it. Miller, a lot more aggressive on offense than he was Tuesday night, but they toss it away.
Well, they would like to have him take Starks off the dribble more and get to the foul line.
Harper just launches the 3. Smith's his first rebound. Oakley knocks it out of his hands. Indiana with the ball. Knicks lead it by 1, 7-6. We've played 3 minutes here in the first quarter.
Well, Larry Brown's game plan tonight is to push the action as much as possible, try to get into transition.
McKee, nothing. The Knicks with the 4th best road record during the regular season in the NBA, 26-15. They were best in the East. Miller's going to push it.
Now, Smits is open because Ewing is way behind here.
Miller moving forward, doesn't get it. Davis, no, the tip again.
Excellent offensive effort that time.
Offensive rebounding has been a problem for the Knicks, not a problem from Indiana in this series. Whistle, foul. Smith doesn't like it. That'll be his first, the 4th team foul here in the first quarter.
Well, already you can see this. Now watch this as Ewing gets ahead. Now as Smits comes in, see, I'm surprised they called that. They could have called the foul before.
Ewing short on the jumper. Miller comes out of the pack with the rock.
Both teams want to front the post-up people.
Miller, the off-balance shot, trying to draw the foul. Bodies everywhere. Let's see. It's going to be Indiana's basketball.
Right now, the players are having a little trouble with how the game is going to be officiated. This is a great hustle by Oakley because you can see the 2 white shirts were there first. Big thing in this game is going to be how are they going to allow the post-up players to be defensed. That's going to be a major issue as we play the 4th quarter.
Well, they're getting an idea of what the officiating is going to be like. Charles Oakley just called for the touch foul by Bob Delaney. Indiana has the ball on the far side.
But we know all year round the hand checking has been called and it has been consistent.
And it has been consistent in the playoffs. Now Ewing fronting Smith.
Well, he's got to give him the ball, see.
Miller to the hole, rejected by Charles Smith. The outlet to Starks. He has Oakley to the hole.
And that's bad basketball. They had Charles. They had Patrick Ewing fronting so far out. They force a shot, get it blocked, and it cost them. All they had to do was dump the ball in.
Starks right in front of Miller with 8 to shoot. Now Smith fronting on McKee. Miller goes around everyone to the hole. Reggie Miller, who didn't get his first field goal till 4 minutes left in the first half, gets his first, but they answer with a 3.
As soon as Reggie Miller scored, his man took off down the other end of the floor. Mark Jackson went all the way down and picked up Starks, but loose. And what happened? Harper pushes the ball, an uncontested 3.
Inside, McKee uses his body. They can't get it. The tip won't go.
Somebody's down there. Derek McKee got hit right in the mouth.
Smith wide open, gets the roll. Smith with 4, and the Knicks have a 4-point advantage with 6.5 in the first. They are on a 7-2 run early on.
Whenever the Knicks give you an advantage at this end of the floor, you must exploit it quickly.
Smith's shot from the baseline. His first 2 of the ball game. Only 10 points in game 2 following that 34-point performance, his playoff NBA high in game 1.
Knicks have 14 points, and it's incredibly interesting how many points have been created by Harper this early in the quarter.
And he actually had a step on Jackson there, but gave it up. 6 to shoot. Ewing with 3 to shoot over Smith. Jackson has Miller on the left. Takes it himself. everywhere.
Now they went for the shot block that time. That to me was not a dirty play. Mainly because Mark Jackson is keeping it low. Watch how he cradles it low and brings it, you see right there, and they are committed for that shot block, and Charles Smith definitely got a piece of it before the collision. Whenever a defensive team fronts the low post man, you must clear out the right side low box defender. Now we're going to, Mark Jackson should make this pass right now to the left side of the board. Instead, they go down inside, all right, they get nothing out of this, and then here come the Knicks on a 2-on-1 fast break. So any time that you know that you are going to be fronted in the low post, you must empty out the opposite low box so that when you throw the lob, the defender cannot come across and intercept it. And then you cannot go away from that because that's a layup. That's a gimme.
Well, Derek McKee, we understand, has a bloody nose. That has been stopped. We have had 8 lead changes so far in the game. That foul, by the way, was on Charles Smith, his first. And at the line, it'll be Mark Jackson, 6 of 10 from the stripe in the playoffs. Regular season, 78%. Let's see where Derek McKee got it right upside the head.
Well, you keep an eye in here now. Right there, Rick Smits catches Derek McKee right with his own forearm.
Here's Mark Jackson, the 8th-year pro out of St. John's. And there's McKee with a little, it isn't pretty, but it works. Gotten in the nose.
Well, Mark had a great rookie season. Then also in his 2nd year, he was in the All-Star game. And then as a rookie, he broke Oscar Robertson's assist record, which was held for so many years in the NBA.
Ewing's baseline won't go. Oakley with a hustle rebound. Smith trying to push off McKee. Oakley lets it fly from 18, and Charles Oakley buries it.
Indiana, an excellent help team in the lane. And you can see Harper already tonight has gotten down inside the foul line 3 times and passed out to a wing, which has resulted in a score.
He already has 5 assists in the game here. Jackson thought it was last touched by the Knicks, but New York will have possession. That is the 2nd Indiana turnover, of course, coming off that 35 turnover performance.
Well, Mark, he knows that he made a mistake right there. He just tried to force a pass. You try to tell guys when you're playing against great half-court defensive teams, try not to pass off the dribble unless the guy is wide open, because you cannot bring it back if the defense reacts, and that's what happened there.
Oakley swings it across to Smith. He takes Davis on the drive, won't go, but we have a foul again. That'll be Dale Davis's 2nd personal foul.
Now that is big. Now they're big in Antonio Davis right now, but you would like to see Dale Davis out on the floor for you. He just had a sensational year this year. He's averaged double figures. He's going to be in the final tabulation. He's in the top 5% shooters in the league. But more important, he's a horse underneath.
Smith now 1 of 3 from the paint. 5 points in the ball game. As Stevie mentioned, Davis goes out. Davis comes in. No relation.
Well, Dale Davis is a 9-rebound game a guy, as well as your leading shot blocker. Right now, even though Smits is in the game, you have no shot blockers out on the floor for Indiana.
But considering you've only blocked 2 Knicks shots in the first 2 games, that is a problem.
That's why you see the Knicks continually taking the ball to the front of the rim. They are not afraid of getting anything blocked.
Miller gets away from Starks, throws it up off the glass, and it goes.
He's murdered when he puts it on the floor. Larry Brown feels that they cannot defend the dribble, but he's got to get his guys to go to the hole.
He has 6 points already, Reggie Miller, at 3 of 6 shooting. They try to lob it into Ewing as Smits was fronting Patrick. Miller is down on the ground. He gets up slowly. Smits over Oakley, offensive foul.
He was there. Now I want to tell you, everyone in this building wanted a foul. But They wanted it on Oakley. Oakley gets right in front here. This is what you mean by the intangible man. Look how he takes this. Now you're talking about a guy 7'4", 270 pounds coming down in and ramming right into your chest. That's the value of an Oakley.
Knicks lead it by 2. Inside, Ewing over the outstretched hands of Smits and McKee.
Well, Derek McKee almost double-teamed in time to get the block.
Larry Brown wants a 20-second timeout with his team down by 4, 20-16, 3:43 left to be played in the first.
Now they're bringing in Craig Kite right now. That will give him a body. Larry's trying to buy a couple of minutes here right now.
Well, Reggie Miller and Rick Smits had a beautiful game 1. Unfortunately, that was not the case in game 2. Both players struggled from the floor. Rick Smits once again in foul trouble. And here is exactly what happened in games 1 and 2.
Well, you can see that they were 20 for 37. Smits at 34 points, Miller 31. In game 2, they only get 17 attempts, but that's because of the many turnovers in the game, as well as the excellent defense of the Knicks.
Anthony Mason checks in for New York. And Greg Kite comes into the lineup for the Indiana Pacers.
Now this is not a good sign, because Smits, your low post threat, is out with 2. Dale Davis, your best offensive rebounder, is out with 2.
McKee from the baseline's got it, and Larry Brown would like to see more of that.
Well, he's the only other post-up threat that they have other than Rick Smits.
Foul is going to be on Greg Kite. Kite has only been with the team since early April. He spent 2 games with the New York Knicks early on in this season. He's a 12th year pro out of Brigham Young. Still being paid by the Orlando Magic after being cut right before the season got underway. There's Larry Brown, only one of his teams in 22 years under the 500 mark. That was the San Antonio team without David Robinson.
Ewing has missed the big 3 foul shots already here this evening. You can see that the referees are not going to allow any rough play on post-up people tonight.
Now the Knicks now 3 of 6 from the line. Ewing 1 of 2. And they have a 3-point advantage. 3:20 left to be played in the first.
Now they're posting up Antonio Davis. Wow, that was great.
Beautiful
rotation.
defense.
Great rotation.
Oakley behind the back to Mason, who wasn't expecting it, and he still puts it home.
Bad pass by the Oak man. Okay, he threw that one into a cluster of people. That was a nice finish though by Anthony Mason.
Biggest lead of the game for the Knicks. Now McKee trying to post on Mason. Mason gives this Indiana team a lot of problems. Miller, strong move to the hole.
That's the 3rd time Reggie Miller has taken Starks all the way off of a reverse move.
Starks for 3, and he buries it, his 3rd of the ball game.
Is he on fire? You know, before the game tonight, Ron, he was out here, and he was not missing. He worked up a terrific sweat, working on his 3-point shooting.
Starks 3 for 3 from the arc, 9 points tonight. And he gets up on top of Reggie Miller, and he puts a hand on him, and John Starks will be whistled for his first personal foul. Haywood Workman's going to come into the lineup, but first we'll take a break. 2:17 left to play in the first, and the Knicks lead it by 6. We'll be back.
Now keep an eye on the screen. Reggie Miller coming across, and you'll see Derek McKee. Now watch John Stark as he comes across the lane. All right, with Reggie Miller. There's your back screen of Mason. Now, they gamble and come on the baseline side. 2 defenders were going on that post. You had Mason as well as, now there's your bad pass, but fortunately the Knicks come out of there with a gem.
That last foul, by the way, was not on that man, John Starks. It was on Charles Oakley. And Oakley is replaced by Charles Smith as Oak sits down.
Right now, New York 10 for 17 from the floor, 59%. Indiana 9 for 16, but they have 4 turnovers.
Antonio Davis out of the University of Texas, El Paso. thrown out of game one. His wife came over to us before the game and said, I don't want to know how much the fine is, but he has to match it with shopping money for me.
In the Pacer lineup,
sounds like a pretty even trade. Haywood Workman in the lineup for the Pacers. Larry Brown said if they were soft defensively, they would make changes early. Workman is the defensive specialist. Yuki has talked about the penetration of Harper and Stark so far.
Well, last year against Orlando, Workman had 7 steals in one game and 28 steals for the entire playoffs.
Smith with 3 to shoot, lets it fly. Reggie Miller tips it to himself. Pacers down by 4 inside of 2 minutes here in the first. Well played first quarter. McKee should be able to take Smith off the dribble, but Smith closes the gap.
They have no inside game right now unless McKee can post up. Nice
Tight inside, loses the handle, still loose. They're going to jump it up.
That was a perfect pass by McKee. You've got to make the catch and send it down strong with a dunk.
Greg Anthony comes into the lineup. Anthony, the 4th-year pro out of UNLV, and Derek Harper takes a seat. Kite will be jumping up against Smith. Kite a couple of rings with the Boston Celtics. Spent 4 years with Boston. 2 championships. Knicks by 4. They have the ball. Anthony.
This will be an excellent battle right here.
Anthony got in Pat Riley's doghouse in game 2. Starks again, and he buries his 4th of the ball game.
Now you have to give a lot of credit to the screen people on the baseline. They have freed him up now 3 times in this right-hand corner, and it's because of the hard screens on Reggie Miller. Now Miller's going to have to do a better job.
Smith now fronting the post again. Then he slips behind, and we have a whistle, and it's going to be a foul. It's going to be an off. No, 3-second violation. Charles Smith thought it was on him. Instead, it's 3 seconds.
Now you can see he's working down in there, but he's staying within in the painted area. That's an excellent call by Eddie Rush.
Starks with 12 in the ball game. All of his points coming from the arc.
Now here comes that staggered screen again.
And Starks lets it fly again. This time a little bit short. Mason tries to run it down, but the Pacers have the ball. Final 35 seconds of the first.
They're doing a terrific job screening on the baseline, meaning the Knicks.
Antonio Davis. Baseline cut off by Smith. The spin move. Oh. Miller, the return. Reggie with 10 in the first half.
He's been outstanding in the painted area, either off the dribble or helping on the boards.
5 of 8, 10 points for Reggie, matching his high for game 2.
2-man game now, Anthony and Ewing.
Ewing faces it up, takes Kite off the dribble, doesn't get it. Kite the rebound. And that is the way the first quarter will end. Reggie Miller, 10 first quarter points. John Starks, 12 in the quarter, 4 3-pointers. And as we head to quarter number 2, the Knicks with a 5-point advantage. We are at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, Indiana. Game 3, the Knicks and the Pacers. And after 1 quarter of play, the Knicks led by as many as 7. They're up by 5. Now let's head over to Kevin Conley. Kevin?
Thank you, Ron. This, of course, Danny Sullivan in town for the Indy 500 on Memorial Day. Big NBA fan.
Big NBA. Love basketball, but love the NBA. And the Pacers are the closest to my home in Louisville, Kentucky. Love it. I hope it's going to be a great series.
But you go all over the country and you watch it everywhere, don't you?
I've watched them in the playoffs in Chicago, Detroit, everywhere. New York, I love it.
How's the car running?
It's doing very well. We hope to qualify Saturday. Have a great race on Memorial Day.
All right, Dave. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kevin. We had 8 lead changes in the first 5 minutes.
Greg Anthony.
The foul was on Greg Anthony. The Knicks led by as many as 7 in that opening quarter. Now they led by 5 at the end of 1 in game 2. They lead by 5 now. There you see the Pacers already with 6 turnovers in the ballgame.
Well, the major issue that we have here right now, when you have no inside game, you're struggling.
Reggie Miller with the slam.
Now we can say the inside game is Reggie Miller off the dribble. Okay.
Reggie Miller, all 6'7", 185 pounds, soaking wet after a couple of pizzas.
New York offense really being helped by the 4 3-point scores by Starks.
The three by Anthony off the mark. Mason, the offensive rebound. Takes it right back to the hole, and the NBA's sixth man of the year can't get it to fall. Workman to McKee. But still, the Pacers aggressive so much more tonight going to the hole than they were in game 2.
And see, I like what we're seeing there. This is what Larry Brown was hoping for. Get some misses, kick it out, and force the action. Now, that's the first one that they've really been able to attack and have an advantage.
Herb Williams will be coming into the lineup for the Knicks. Derek McKee seems much more comfortable here at Market Square than he does in the Garden.
Well, in 1994, you can see the first 2 games in New York, that's what he had. In the next 2 games at Indiana, he stepped up and made it happen. Now, that's what they're hoping for here. Because right now, Charles Smith and Mason have a distinct advantage in games 1 and 2 in New York.
Now Indiana going without a center as Greg Kite sits down. Sam Mitchell comes back into the lineup. Mitchell, the 6th-year pro out of Mercer, who Larry Brown said after watching the game film 3 times from Tuesday night's game, Mitchell was the only one that put out a complete effort.
Well, he's hoping right now that he can get away with Antonio Davis at the center position.
Smith inside just barrels his way down.
That was beautiful because he called for the ball. They got mixed up. Indiana mixed up in their defensive assignment. Smith was wide open. He was yelling for the ball.
Smith wants a 20-point score when he was with the Clippers. 3 knee operations on his left knee alone.
Well, I'm happy for him because in 93 and 94, both years, he missed around 35 games each season with knee surgery. This year, he's only missed 6 games.
Miller, Davis on him. Hubert's had problems. Inside, Antonio Davis. Herb Williams, who has 3 blocks in this series already, this time comes up with a foul.
Nice pass that time by Reggie. This is the old story. When you duck in, take it right back to the side that you came from. Because if the defensive guy tries to defend it, all you have to do is drop step and go strong right back, and he did.
Antonio Davis missed 37 games because of back surgery this year. And Larry Brown told me in January he felt that without Antonio Davis, a lot of the energy and enthusiasm defensively left his ball club.
Now you're talking about a workhorse. This guy is, you know, he produces for you, and it allows you to play him as a backup center or a power forward with either unit.
Mitchell with the rebound. Miller for 3.
Right now, Reggie doesn't need the 3. You can see they were right out on that, looking to trap him. So he forced that shot.
Williams has it knocked away. Ball belongs to the Knicks. 16 to shoot.
Stepping further with Reggie, his game tonight off the dribble has totally taken the Knicks by surprise. And he is getting down inside, and he's executing, and he still should continue to do that because it's opening up things for other people also.
Well, Reggie Miller is going to sit down after scoring 12 so far, and coming into the lineup is Byron Scott, the 12th-year pro out of Arizona State, who Larry Brown really would like to see get going. He has struggled. Davis knocks it away. Shot clock at 14.
Just keep an eye on Byron Scott. Look at the playoffs. 6 points versus 10 in the season. 1 for 12 in threes. And the fact he's getting 21 minutes, so it isn't like the shot attempts are not there.
He's 0 for 3 from the arc in this series alone. Williams posting on Davis. The baseline jumper by Herb. The former Pacer gets it right back again.
In the early going, the forced turnovers are in favor of the Knicks as well as the offensive rebounding.
Mitchell and Mason doing a little wrestling match inside, and the foul is going to be on Sam Mitchell. That'll be his first personal, and we'll take a timeout. 9:50 left in the second. The Knicks lead is cut to 2.
Pacer people, this is your...
Pacers on a 7-2 run. The last 3.5 minutes have cut the New York lead down to 2. We have another game coming your way immediately following our contest. It'll be the Houston Rockets and the Phoenix Suns. Suns leading that best-of-7 one game to none. Gary Bender, Jack Givens, Nicole Watson. At America West Arena standing by for that one will Akeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler rebound. Akeem will need a little bit of help. That'll be coming your way following our contest this evening. Both teams shooting so well so far here in the second. Or not shooting so well. Knicks only 1 of 5 after 52% in the first. Anthony on top to Davis. Pulls the trigger from 19. Tipped by Williams again. Still doesn't get it. Rebound McKee.
Right now, the Knicks have a big advantage up front with Herb Williams, Charles Smith, and Mason versus the front line of the Indiana Pacers. We're talking about size and bulk.
Mitchell.
Air ball.
Antonio Davis the save to Workman. He collides with Greg Anthony.
That's a tough call for Anthony to handle because he was really going for the ball, but caused the collision.
He was just hustling.
Yeah, the Knicks have had excellent hustle down inside, but Reggie Miller, I might even surprise myself because he has 5 layup baskets on drives.
That's a push underneath. That'll be on Herb Williams, and that is number 2 on Williams.
No way can you put a hand in the lower back of a guy tonight, or a leg. They want that forearm. You better put that forearm there tonight. Just watch. Then you're going to see, there it is right there. Now you say, John, he hardly even touched him. You're right, but that's the rule this year.
Antonio Davis now 4 of 5 from the stripe as Mark Jackson will come back in. Haywood Workman sits down. In case you just joined us, Rick Smits with 2 personal fouls on the bench, as is Dale Davis. Antonio Davis spent 3 years in Europe refining his game, which was an excellent move as far as his career is concerned. He has 5 points, and we are tied at 31. Pressure, the double. Smith, the reverse. Offensive foul is going to be on the Knicks. Charles Smith cannot believe it. And that is number 3 on Smith.
Pat Riley is very upset. First of all, a great move by Smith. Pat Riley's yelling that he took the charge too deep underneath the rim. And you can see he has a pretty good point. If you're going to get the charge in the NBA, you have to take it at the dotted line, or you have to take it on the white line down the lane. All right, to the right or to the left of the lane. He was really surprised because that was a very clever maneuver because he really got in there with some fancy dribbling.
And he had to get out of some traffic on the near side. Now Oakley has to come back into the lineup as McKee lets it go from 20. Well, I tell you, it is very physical underneath.
Talking to Pat Riley, we said, don't you feel you have the physical matchup? And he said, we have trouble with the Davis boys as well as Mitchell. These 3 guys are as physical as anyone that we play in the Eastern Conference.
Fouls on Byron Scott is first, all the way to the hole. Anthony abuses Mark Jackson.
See, this is a tough decision for Larry Brown. If you notice, when Workman was in there, no point guard got to the rim. As soon as they bring Mark Jackson in, they cleared the side out, and Anthony took him off the dribble.
Byron Scott said, somebody got a hand on me, no call. Knicks with the ball, they lead it by 2, nearing 8 minutes to go in the first half.
That last shot by Byron Scott falls under the category of questionable choice. Selection here. That was forced.
Mitchell,
nice pass.
Took McKee.
Sam Mitchell, beautiful pass in traffic.
They call Sam Mitchell the team morale leader. He is the heart of this ball club, showing it again tonight.
Well, a lot of people forget the guy averaged 12 points a game for 3 years when he was at Minnesota.
Quick hand Scott. Jackson bumps Anthony. And it is going to be an offensive foul on Mark Jackson.
Well, that was, once again, choice. Mark Jackson is stunned, but if he would have given up the ball, they wouldn't even have had a thought. One thing you do if the defender selects you, give it up. There it is. Now, whether that's an act or not, he had no area to get to the rim. You make the pass, and then there is no problem of a collision.
Greg Anthony was between Jackson and the bench. Danny Crawford blows the whistle as Byron Scott picks up number 2.
That's a very good call.
Pacers on a 13-4 run knocks this game up at 33 apiece.
Now keep an eye. You're going to see Byron put his hand on him right there. Right there. That was automatic. And one thing you've got to protect against Starks dribbling to his left from the right wing.
Reggie Miller still on the bench, getting a little rest, but his team is staying close. Oakley sets the pick on Scott, then he rolls. Mason sees an opening. Oakley back to Starks for three. John Starks, 5 3-pointers tonight.
Outstanding ball movement. Not one guy in 4 catches forced a shot, and they all could have forced the shot.
John Starks, 5 of 6 from the arc.
Mason doing a good job fronting the key.
Antonio Davis brings Patrick Ewing way out, then he drops his first field goal of the ball game. Scott on Starks. Oakley rolls, wide open jumper, and he drills it.
Today, the Knicks are shooting like they think they're still in Madison Square Garden. But remember,
basketball.
At the top, we told you, they are 2-0 in this building this year. They've defeated Indiana twice.
New York 50%. Oakley trying to come up with a steal. 6 to shoot. Starks gets right in Byron Scott's face. And he's whistled for the foul. That'll be number 1 on John Starks. And we're going to take a timeout. 5:57 left in the half. The Knicks holding on to the advantage, but it's only 3.
We'd like to show you that play of excellent ball movement and not forcing a shot. Here comes Starks off of the screen by Oakley. He's been turning the corner. Instead, he gives it. Now they could take a shot there. Now watch as Mason, he could shoot here. Here is another shot attempt. Instead, they make the extra pass. John Starks knocks down his 5th 3 of this game. Now, how about these statistics? On the season, 36%. He's shooting 60. Harper, Starks is shooting 40, and that's not counting Starks this evening. 5 for 6.
Not bad. The numbers on him this season.
Now remember, John Starks this season set a new NBA record in 3-point attempts. All right, right at almost 8 a game, and he also set a new record in makes, 211 for the season.
611 attempts for John Starks. Byron Scott into the books with 1 point as Dale Davis has come back into the lineup for the Pacers. Here's Reggie Miller. He will check in.
I made a mistake on Starks. Starks made 217.
When you get above 200, though,
that's knocking him home. Knocking him home. Usually 150 to 180 would win it. But then again, when you take 8 attempts a game, that's a ton. That's a ton. You better have a good low post player to get you those shots.
Knicks showing a lot of patience offensively. There it is again with the ball movement.
The ball movement tonight is very sound.
6 to shoot. Ewing has to launch it up with 2, and Ewing hits it off the back of the iron. Jackson takes it away from Oakley. He'll push it. Wisely holds it up as Starks matches up with Scott. Dale Davis has Ewing on him. Mason meets Mitchell. Gets Mason up in the air. The shot won't go. Ewing tips it to Harper. 1-point Knick lead, nearing 5 minutes left in the first half.
High screen and roll now, right in the middle of the floor.
Knicks have lost 2 of the last 3 playoff games here at Market Square Arena.
When you play the Knicks, the first move is not what they really want. Many times they'll give you that high screen and roll, but what they really want to do is reverse the ball to the other side of the floor and then post you up on the side of the floor that they're going to.
Byron Scott will sit down with 3 personal fouls. Mark Jackson also will take a seat as Haywood Workman and Reggie Miller come into the lineup. Miller with 10 in the first quarter, 12 already in the ballgame. Pat Riley saying turnovers, free throws, and rebounding the key. So far, those keys are going well. Starks his first 2 of the ball game.
Reggie Miller was not loose, and when Starks stopped on a dime, Reggie Miller staggered backwards, opening up enough room for the uncontested J.
Good call. Starks now 6 of 8, 17 points, 15 from the arc. Davis faces up on Ewing, backs him down.
See, Patrick knows that he really does not want to take the shot.
Miller, the running jumper as the shot clock goes.
We're not talking about Miller not wanting to shot. We're talking about Dale Davis.
I think Miller's going to have his 15-20 touches tonight, the way things are going. Didn't get a lot of touches in the game number 2. Harper lets it go from 3, and Derek Harper buries the three-pointer. Now 16 of 26 in the playoffs from the arc.
During the year, the Knicks attempted 17 and made 6 during the course of the season. Tonight, they are 6 for 9.
Mitchell sees an opening down the right side of the lane. That's going to be an offensive foul on Sam Mitchell. His second.
Right now, Sam's having some problems at the offensive end of the floor. I see the Knicks will take the charge. Look at this. See, that's excellent basketball. You have Oakley and Ewing, even though they don't go for the shot blocks many times, they'll take the charge if they feel that you are out of control.
That is the third charge that the Knicks have taken on Indiana as Workman picks up his first personal foul. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Hubie and I, as usual, will be selecting our Budweiser player of the game. At the line, it will be Derek Harper, the 12th-year pro out of Illinois. First-round pick back in '83 by the Dallas Mavericks. .6 assists for Harper. Derek McKee will come back into the lineup. Mitchell will sit down. McKee still quiet, only 6 points tonight.
Well, Derek has always been known as a good defensive player. He made the all-second team NBA on 2 occasions, but he's an excellent foul shooter. He's in the high 70s throughout his career.
On defense, Pat Riley wanted to push Reggie Miller towards the ball.
They're trying to post up down inside. They catch Reggie Miller on an offensive foul. That time, the defender was trying to front him. Now, just watch this. You're going to see Reggie trying to post there. See, that should have been a foul on Starks. Okay? Now, in my opinion, that's not even close. John Starks definitely rooted him right out of there.
Now, nevertheless, it's the 9th Indiana turnover in the half. Knicks by 5. 3:05 left to play in the first half. Harper sees the double, gives it up to Mason. Ewing wide open on the baseline. Nobody sees him. Starks pulls it from 3. Buries his 6th three-pointer of the half.
I mean, you have to start paying attention. I mean, how many of these is he going to make before you stay at home and everyone else must rotate? You cannot continue to allow him. He's 6 for 7 in threes right now.
Smell the coffee, guys. He's going to pull it from 3. Oakley, the rebound. Outlets it to Harper. The long pass to Ewing. Patrick can't track it down, and he wisely just runs into the stands.
Bad choice, Ron. You know Patrick is hurting. He's out, and he's going to have to really extend. Now, this is just, once again, penetration in the paint, kick out.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have Eddie Sullivan.
John Starks has helped New York to a 9-2 run, giving them their biggest lead of the game. It is 8 points, and he has helped pick up the slack for an injured Patrick Ewing.
Well, you can see where these 3 players, that's their season average. And then when you look at the playoffs, Starks is up 5 a game in this series. 5.5 for Harper, and right at 4.1, you know, in regards to, 5.1 in regards to 4.1 in regards to Mason. So you know that these 3 guys have stepped up. But right now, you're saying, where is Rick Smith? Rick Smith has 2 fouls on him. Now, you know what Larry's trying to do. He's trying to stay close, get into the second half, and save Rick Smith. But you have to watch this now because you don't want to go off at home down double figures.
Davis works his way inside, whistle, foul. Eddie Rush, Bob Delaney, and Dan Crawford. All 3 of them called that one. And that'll be number 2 on Patrick Ewing. But that's an interesting thing that Rick Smits and Larry Brown had to go through in game 2, because when they had Patrick Ewing pick up 3, Herb Williams pick up 3.
Now keep an eye on it. He's going to step underneath here, right here, and as he comes back up, they're calling. Well, you know, a lot of guys, if you're in New York, you're saying, hey, he was behind the backboard. He jumped right into Patrick Ewing.
The Reebok halftime report will be coming your way in just a couple of minutes. Ernie Johnson in the studios with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We'll take a look at our second game of the doubleheader. Rockets and the Suns, and Michael Jordan, I should say, didn't have a fine day yesterday. We'll fill you in on that in just a couple of minutes. The Reebok halftime report. Knicks by 7 with the ball nearing 2 minutes in the second. Starks being hounded by Reggie Miller.
They're bringing Harper off, and they want a two-man game, but Workman did a terrific job in denying that pass.
Mason with 4 on the shot clock. It's rejected. Pacers come up with the basketball. Miller leads the break.
That was a great block.
Workman not known for his outside shot, but he buries the three, his first of the 1995 playoffs. He was 0 for 5 coming into tonight.
He needs that. The team needs that. But he needs it for his offensive confidence.
Now the crowd into it. It is loud. Stolen by McKee.
Great
Should have it done. Starks with the rejection. But Miller is there to clean it up. What hustle by John Starks.
Now that steal by McKee. He's had 4 straight seasons now where he's averaged over 100 steals. Now there was an offensive player with a steal who fell asleep with the basketball, and a hustling John Starks blocked that shot.
Pacers on a 6-0 run. Patrick Riley wants a timeout, leading by just 2.
Now why Derek McKee slows down here, I have no idea. All right, now just watch the hustle by Starks. He gets a piece of that, and fortunately, Indiana is hustling, and they get the layup.
I don't know if he was thinking maybe I'll make the basket and make it a 3-point play, but get the 2.
Yeah, but that's what he's thinking. I'm going to cause a foul, except for one thing. John Starks can dunk in sky. I still remember him going baseline 3 years ago in the playoffs.
That's right.
When he dunked over the top of Michael, and they've had that one on every highlight film.
With his left hand, too.
New York, Chicago, as he came from the right side behind the backboard. Incredible.
Well, the Knicks, only 1 turnover in that first quarter, already 5 here in the second. And they've seen their advantage drop down to just 2 points with just over a minute left in the half. Harper from 3, doesn't get it. Pacers will let it go with 58.2 in the half. They have the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead. But Herb Williams will quickly come into the lineup for the Knicks. Sam Mitchell will check in for the Pacers. Dale Davis sits down, and Patrick is going to sit down.
Now, what Larry's doing here, he's doing offense-defense here. He's taking Dale Davis out so he does not pick up his third.
And Patrick Ewing sits down so he won't pick up his third. Harper on Workman.
That's a high screen and roll.
There it is. McKee left open from 3. Rebound, Mitchell, the offensive ball, and he throws it right into the hands of Oakley. Harper on the right. Oakley to Mason. The finger roll.
Excellent anticipation. Larry Brown, extremely frustrated. You get the rebound. You do not throw the ball diagonally to the top of the circle where there were defenders. He's just, he was very upset about that because you had a chance to run some time and get an offensive shot. Instead, they get a layup.
Oakley was just waiting in the bushes on that. Mitchell, baseline, lost the handle. Last touch by Indiana. 14.1 in the half. The Knicks have the ball at a 4-point advantage. Now Ewing is trying to get back into the lineup, and he does, and Herb Williams will sit down. And Hubert Davis will come in.
The Knicks have had an outstanding first half. Their effort is there. They are making their perimeter shots. Their inside penetration has been outstanding. And they've just weathered a major storm here. And they have a chance to take it from 4 to 6.
And especially since Indiana had a chance to tie. Final 10 seconds in the first half. It has been a dandy. Harper, Workman all over him, doing an excellent job defensively, and Derek Harper will not even get a shot off.
And that was terrific one-on-one defense on a guy who has been on fire in the series. But speaking on fire, John Starks' first half is nothing short of sensational.
Reggie counters it with 16 points, but Starks with 20. And as we head to intermission, the Knicks lead it by 4. Stay with us. The Reebok halftime report with Ernie Johnson and Kareem is next.
The Reebok Halftime Report is brought to you by Reebok.
Well, the NBA record for three-pointers in a playoff game is 8 by Dan Marley. John Starks has hit 6 in the first half. New York with a 49-45 lead over the Pacers, Game 3 of their Eastern Conference semifinal. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta with the Reebok Halftime Report, joined by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We were going to talk a lot about the post play and about Smits against Ewing, but not much happening in there, is there, big guy?
Geez, the big guys have been a non-factor in the first half. 5 points for Ewing, 2 points for Smits. The defensive schemes of both teams have really done a good job in taking the center play away from either team.
The stars of this game so far have been the backcourt guys, Reggie Miller and John Starks. Let's go to the telestrator. Let's start with Reggie Miller, Kareem, and what the Pacers are trying to do to get him open.
Okay, the Pacers want to get Reggie free at the three-point line so he can get that shot off quickly. But the Knicks are anticipating that. So we'll see Reggie try to get out here to his spot. But John Starks is going to take a shortcut over the pick and get there and play good D. So we see Starks gets over, and before Reggie can set up his shot, Starks is on him. Now what they'll do is they'll try to fake a post-up of Dirk McKee in this area right here in order to sink the New York defense. And now Reggie's taking the ball to the hoop, all the way to the hoop, instead of looking for the outside shot.
Starks right up there on him, too.
Starks is on him, and he's too close to stop the drive. And Reggie's doing a great job of getting into the hoop and shooting layups.
Now, basically the same play on the other side of the ball here with John Starks, the recipient.
It's exactly the same play. They're going to cross two guys off of the center pick on the baseline right here and see what happens. Reggie is going to anticipate Starks coming up the middle, but Starks comes all the way around to the corner. And when he catches the ball, Reggie has been lost, and Starks is wide open, and he gets it off before Reggie gets there. And Starks is ready to play tonight.
You give John Starks that much room, and he will knock down the three. 6 of them, as we said in the first half. He's got 20 points to lead all scorers. The Knicks lead at 49-45. Now, the other Eastern Conference series continues tomorrow night here on TNT. Game 3 of the Bulls Magic, best of 7, tied up at 1 after Michael went for 38 last night in Chicago's 10-point win. But it was Jordan's attire that had everybody talking. We start with the shoes. They're supposed to be all black like his teammates wear. And, of course, there's the matter of the number. 45 was gone. 23 was back. Michael wasn't talking, but Craig Sager found the Bulls VP Jerry Krause.
It's great to have Michael Jordan come back as number 45. But what about coming back as number 23? What were your thoughts? What was your reaction?
Just wanted to win the basketball game. I didn't even know he was going to do it. I had no idea what was happening when he walked out. I said, "Why?" I didn't know why he was wearing 23, and I didn't really care because the object's to win the basketball game. And Michael's Michael, whatever uniform he's wearing.
You have to notify the league if you can make a roster change. Who gets fined, you or Michael?
I wouldn't think that I don't know what's going to happen, but that's fine. We win the basketball game. Michael plays outstanding, does a job, and it's a nice win for us.
As it turns out, there were fines. For the shoes, Jordan is fined $5,000. Those much talked about shoes. Marketing mission accomplished, boys. And Chicago, the team, fined $25,000 for the number change. Add them all up, you get $30,000. Now, the league does not want this number thing to become a distraction, and the league has made its stance known to the Bulls in a statement from NBA Deputy Commissioner Russ Granick. It was delivered late this afternoon to the Chicago Bulls. And in that statement, wow, the Atlanta Braves. I do not think the Braves are in. They may be in progress right now, but the statement in effect says the Bulls have been advised that we will not approve a change in uniform number for Michael Jordan this season if the team continues to permit him to appear in a number other than 45 in violation of league policy. The matter will be dealt with in an appropriate manner at the conclusion of the season. At the same time, we were told that Michael is pretty hot to wear number 23, so who knows what's going to happen tomorrow night between the 23 and 45 thing. Now, as far as the shoes go, they're not all black. They're black and white. They pretty much go with the uniform, Kareem. At least he didn't do something like wear red shoes with a purple Laker uniform. And that happened to you a time once?
Way back in 1978, I think it was. I showed up at the Capitol Center without my shoes, and the Bullets were kind enough to give me a pair of red shoes that did not match anything, but the league was kind to me at that time.
Making a fashion statement, just had to pay the $100 team fine for that fashion error. Coming up, we'll look ahead at the Houston-Phoenix series. That's later tonight on TNT. We'll preview it next. At the half, it's a 4-point New York lead over Indiana as the Reebok halftime report continues. Later tonight here on TNT, Houston and Phoenix, Game 2 of that series. Game 1 went to the Suns at America West, 130 to 108. Hakeem Olajuwon struggled in that game for Houston. So did Clyde Drexler. In fact, he only played 14 minutes, ejected in the second period of that game, so he was really not a factor for the Houston Rockets. And it happened in the second on the steal when Clyde will reach in and get Dan Marley, I guess, right around the number. Clyde could not believe that he got whistled right there and went after Jake O'Donnell and was thrown out of the game. And as you might expect, Charles Barkley watched all this and had an opinion.
I've done it many times, and it's wrong when I do it. I mean, because you got to have your best players on the court at all times. But, I mean, I'm not here to criticize Clyde. He just can't put himself in that situation, especially with Jake, Mike Mathis, Steve Javie, and Joey Crawford. They don't give a about nobody. They'll toss your ass in a heartbeat. They don't care who. You can't talk to them four guys like that. They'll toss you on national TV.
Safe to say that that quartet will not be on the A-list for the next bash at Charlie's house. What was your relationship with officials, Kareem, and how did you approach these guys? How much grief would you give? How much buttons could you push?
I found it to my best advantage and the best advantage of my team not to say anything, have as little as possible to do with the officials. What you want from the officials is consistency. If they're going to call it the same way every time as they see it, you can adjust to that. You learn about that. You have a book in your mind on the officials and how they call things. So a call like that is really out of character for someone like Jake O'Donnell, who's an excellent official and who has kept his cool under a lot of pressure. And Clyde has to understand that they need him on the court.
They do, and it's Game 2 tonight, Houston and Phoenix, later on from America West here on TNT. Back to wrap up the Reebok Halftime Report right after this.
Back at Market Square Arena, where the Knickerbockers are leading the Pacers by 4 at the half, and with me, the head coach of the Pacers. And Larry, this is great playoff basketball. Knicks ball movement terrific. John Starks unconscious.
Yeah, I thought they played great, and I'm pleased with our team. You know, we ran into a team that executed well. We got down, we got in foul trouble, and we got a chance to win. If we play with this kind of effort, you know, I got no complaints because, you know, they shot over 50. I think 7 for 11 from three-pointer, and we had 11 turnovers and we're still in the game.
Reggie Miller came out tough and played extremely well early.
Yeah, I think he tried to go to the goal, which really helped us. You know, the fact that he puts it on the floor really helps because they overplay so well and they front people on the post, so it gives you an opportunity to drive it. And that makes his outside game, I think, more effective if we can get him the ball and not turn it over.
Rick Smits was out of the game early, foul trouble again. What do you plan in the second half, and do you need him to stay out of foul trouble here?
Well, you know, I was hopeful we could stay close where I could keep him on the bench with 2 fouls. You know, Kite gave us some good minutes, but he's got to go. He's got to play a lot of minutes this half, and we're going to need him. I was just thankful we could stay in the ball game and not have him, you know, subjected to getting 3 fouls. And even with Dale, you know, Dale had foul trouble, but he'll play this half.
All right, Larry, thanks a bunch, as always. Back to you, Ron Hubie.
Thank you very much, Kevin Kiley. John Starks, of course, did tie the playoff record for most three-pointers in a half, and that record was held by Michael Jordan and a guy named Reggie Miller, who did it against the Knicks last year. But I think Larry hit it on the head. It was great ball movement by the Knicks. They played well, but still, despite 11 turnovers, Indiana's still in this basketball game.
Well, anytime that you say Smits and Dale Davis, your 2 horses, are sitting on a bench for as long as they did, you're still in the game. That's a plus. But the minus is Reggie Miller's your leading rebounder with 5. So that's a problem.
All right, definitely a problem as we take a look at tonight's Budweiser game summary. The numbers from the first 24 minutes of play.
The turnover is a big story. Indiana with 11, and then the points. You can see that right there. The 3-point shooting, John Starks just unconscious. All right, 7 for 11 for the team. Starks 6 for 7. Indiana getting no looks at all for 3s. And then the Smits-Miller, you can see the points only because Smits only played 8 minutes.
Now the Knicks with 16 assists on their 19 field goals. Indiana 7 assists on 16 field goals, which shows you the ball movement of the Knicks in that first 24 minutes. Smits will begin the second half of play. Same starting 5 for both teams. McKee takes everybody off the dribble. Can't complete, but Smits is there to slam it home.
If Smits will just go strong, and also McKee goes strong off the dribble and take Charles Smith Ewing will always help. That will open Smits up in front of the rim.
Knicks led by as many as 8. Oakley from deep.
They're still on fire. Oakley 4 for 6 in this game from the field. All long jump shots.
Last year when the Pacers took 3 in a row from the New York Knicks, they did it defensively, holding the Knicks to just 77 points in those losses during the playoffs.
Now that's their 12th turnover. That's Mark Jackson's 4th turnover. He was anticipating. The Knicks did not move, and the old story, you never rotate until you see the flight of the pass. Then you make your rotation.
He only has 3 assists, and the Knicks throw it away. Oakley thought Starks was cutting back to the end line. Not the case.
Well, Reggie Miller was up denying hard that time, and Oakley just thought he could make a quick bid. Starks did the smart thing. The passing lane was covered. He was going back door.
Miller sets a pick to try to free up Smits. McKee. Harper shows the double. Right back down. Smith is there to take it away.
Now that's Mark Jackson's 5th turnover. See, that was a bad passing angle. Give the Knicks their due. They do not play behind you. They either front you or play you on the top side. That's the reason why they steal so many post plays.
Traveling call on John Starks, the 8th New York Knicks turnover.
Now keep an eye on this. As they throw the ball out, watch Smith. See that? Overplayed right there. That's smart basketball. Never stay behind when a guy throws it out and tries to repost.
In the playoffs, under Larry Brown, the Pacers are 8-1 at home.
This is the guy that's got to get it done for you.
Ewing takes a slap at it. May have just taken a little bit off Smits' shot.
Well, he got bumped. He got bumped as he was coming across the dribble, and he lost his balance.
Davis on top of Oakley. Ewing inside with a strong move, and he does draw the whistle.
If you notice with Ewing against Smith, they bring Ewing from one side of the floor to the other. And the reason is that once he sets the screen, now watch him go to the other side of the floor. Now when he makes the catch, just take Smits quickly. Why? Because he has slow foot movement.
That foul was on McKee. That is his 2nd. Ewing now 2 for 3 from the stripe. 6 points in the ball game for Patrick. He's only averaging 16.7 in the playoffs. Well below his 23-point average, but as we mentioned at the top of the show, not getting a lot of minutes.
Well, in the first half, Ron, he played 21 minutes, but he only had 6 shot attempts. They were able to get away without going to him.
Danny Crawford says they got to look at Charles Oakley's leg or Charles Smith's leg. Charlie may have seen a little blood on it.
Yeah, it's the back of his left calf area.
But it must be okay. He stays in the ball game. And the Knicks lead it by 6, 53-47. Now Miller swings around at the top of the key. Oakley comes out to help. The leading jumper again by Reggie Miller.
Now they came right out and trapped him as he came off that staggered screen. And that was a beautiful split as well as a great head fake.
9-13. Starks back to Oakley from 19. He parries it.
This is like a shootout in some corral between Oakley and Starks, except Oakley's taking it a step closer.
And 1 point less, and he's 5 of 7.
Right.
Miller again dishes it off to Jackson. Looks inside, tries to force the pass. Another turnover for Mark Jackson. Starks, Oakley underneath, all alone.
Where's Dale Davis? Right now, Mark Jackson has 3 quick turnovers. And they did not give him a time. They called a timeout. The officials did not give him a timeout.
Well, the Knicks players were already on the court. Mark Jackson was heading over to sit down on the bench. You see his story this evening. Jackson needs to get something going offensively for this ball club.
Absolutely. But he's just got to run the team without turning the ball over.
Larry Brown talked about his key players stepping up in this game. He's challenged them. Ewing with the block.
Technical
foul on Rick Smits.
Smits wanted the foul that time on the shot. And the reason why he's upset is because the time before when he put it on the floor, he was bumped hard and he lost his balance. Now keep an eye down in here right now. As he drop steps right there, Patrick caught him on the left arm as he spun. That's why he said something. No doubt about it. If you're Smith, you got to be frustrated right now.
He better be careful because he's still talking to Danny Crawford. And now Dale Davis tries to keep him out of the conversation that Reggie Miller's having with him. And at the other end, it'll be Charles Oakley. Following this, we'll have a jump ball. 7 points in the third, and that was the disaster quarter for the Pacers.
Now, in the third quarter in New York in Game 2, you can see they only scored 13 points, shot 40%, but the 13 turnovers were the key. Well, already in this quarter, they are off to a horrendous start because of the turnovers.
Well, they've only scored 4 already in the quarter as Hayward Workman is checked into the lineup for Mark Jackson. Miller, the spin move, has it knocked away. They cannot believe it. Here comes Starks. He pulls the trigger from 3. Goes over the backboard. The Pacers have the ball. Reggie Miller cannot believe that no whistle was called on that last play.
Well, you're going to see this move as he ducks under here. Watch, he comes out of the spin move, and as he goes up right here, he wants the body. The refs don't give it because the player was stationary with the arms up.
Reggie also lost the handle of the basketball. Moves into Starks, offensive foul. And that'll be a technical foul on Reggie Miller. And they're throwing things at the arena. I don't believe, and they're throwing money again. What is the problem? Now they threw a big cup of water on the floor and hit Matt Riley. And Hubie Brown almost got hit with a peanut.
It's all ice out there, and now we're seeing quarters all over the floor.
Unbelievable.
Now keep an eye on this. There's your fake, and as he steps in, see, that depends upon your angle. Now that was, he lowered his shoulder and stepped right in. Well, naturally, when you're the home team, you want that call. But if you are a defensive team, you want that as an offensive charge in the chest. You had no place to go.
Well, Bob Delaney, one of the officials, got hit with something. And now we're going to have to clean off the basketball court as Danny Crawford and Eddie Rush talk things over. That is a very dangerous situation throwing things, and I don't think the people who are lacking intelligence understand that. And having gotten hit in the throat in Denver, I understand it completely.
And a big factor is right now, we have played 4 minutes in this game. New York has taken their lead. Now here comes more ice down on the floor.
And I tell you, we talked to the officials after that Denver game, Hubie, and they have a lot of authority in this type of situation, and these fans could cost Indiana a lot of problems with technical fouls.
Well, they have the right to do that, and they also have the right to forfeit a game, but they would give a warning to the fans first. Now keep an eye right there on Bob Delaney. You see, he's trying to protect himself right there. And he being an old ex-state trooper, you know, on the turnpike in the state of New Jersey in his old age. The big key right now, Indiana, 5 turnovers in the first 4 minutes of play during this quarter. Bad shot selection, but also turnover. Now Larry Brown is very, very upset. He's all over Delaney because of Rick Smith. He's calling Rick Smith, and he has a very, very good point. There's no doubt about it.
Well, let's mark it down. It's 58-49 is the score when all this problem happens. And now Larry Brown trying to tell the crowd to stop. You know what's ironic about this? One of their own players could be hit just accidentally, and they could be put out of the ball game. Well, they still have to shoot the technical foul on Reggie Miller. So with 8:08, the lead is at 9. That is the biggest lead of the Knicks ball game. We've had technical fouls called on Rick Smith and on Reggie Miller for punching the ball. And that is when the problems happen. And now they throw the ball from the baseline, and it hits Derek Harper in the back of the head. Derek wants to make sure it wasn't intentional. It was unintentional. He's laughing about it.
Hey, you wonder why Oakley's going and shooting these technicals. He's a 79% shooter.
Yeah, only shot the last one and made it.
Big thing right now for the Knicks is that the Knicks do not lose their concentration. Their game plan, their execution, their physical toughness, and their half-court defense has been excellent. Right now, Indiana must change their mental approach to this game. They've got to stop playing soft and then do a better job in their passing of the basketball to post up people.
Well, Charles Oakley was 7 of New York's 9 points in the quarter, and you can feel the intensity pick up. Starks lets it fly. Rebound. Davis goes high for the board. Series tied at 1. Inside, rejected by Ewing. McKee uses the left hand. Davis inside. He is going to be hammered on the play.
Well, they'll hit him hard. Mainly because he's a 50% foul shooter. And anytime that you're in the 50s, they will not allow you to get a dunk. Now you're going to see your first move right here. A potential block that time by Ewing. Now watch Davis as he comes down. See, they're fouling him hard. They're going to force him to make the shots.
Well, Dale Davis, only 48% from the line in the playoffs. Not much better during the regular season, just a shade above 50%. Oakley with 3. He's going to stay in the ballgame. In case you just joined us, the Knicks led by 5 at the end of 1, by 4 at halftime. But things are beginning to pick up here at Market Square. Harper almost throws it away. Workman overplaying Harper.
Now they're inside of 10 seconds.
To Oakley, just inside the 3 with 4 to shoot. Smith the fall away, nothing but the bottom of the net.
You have to give them their due. They are knocking them in with 1, 2, and 3 seconds on the shot clock.
A lot of poise shown by the Knicks tonight.
Well, their ball movement has just been great all night.
Davis no position on Oakley. Now he does. Ewing picks him up. Inside, doesn't get it. Smith with the rebound. Miller for 3. Harper, very physical, and he's going to be called for traveling. Derek had no place to go.
Now, that was a tough play for Harper. He tried to make the rebound, save the ball, and start the break all at the same time. And then he ran into traffic.
We have a timeout. The Knicks lead it by 9 with 6:51 in a wild third quarter. Indiana has missed their last 5 shots, allowing New York to open up a 9-point advantage. Just a reminder, coming up next on TNT, we're going to have the Houston Rockets and the Phoenix Suns, with the Suns leading that series 1-0. And we have a doubleheader coming your way. That'll be tomorrow night. It'll be Orlando and Chicago. That series tied up at 1 apiece, followed by the Spurs and the Lakers, with San Antonio leading 2-0 in that best-of-7 series. NBA action on TNT.
Indiana has got to get themselves together mentally. They're 2 for 9 for the quarter, and they have 5 turnovers. And off of their 16 turnovers, New York has 17 points.
An aggressive move by Dale Davis. During the timeout, Larry Brown got on the PA system, told the crowd that do not throw things. You can hurt somebody and let them play. Then he went and told his team to calm down, that the offense will come. Ewing tries to make the save. It looked like a shot. Reggie Miller comes out of the pass.
Now you can see Patrick has absolutely no mobility.
Smith's a little late on the pass from McKee, but they still have the ball with 17 to shoot.
With that calf area smarting and the swelling in the leg, Patrick runs after the ball stiff-legged.
McKee triggering the inbounds pass. Miller's not there. Have to go to the safety. Miller posting up on Starks. Harper shows the double, then comes over with it. Workman for 3. Smith's the rebound and the hook.
Nice.
Well done, Rick Smith.
There's nothing Ewing can do if Smith comes across the lane, because Patrick cannot laterally slide to stay with him.
Miller with a touch foul. That is number 2 on Miller. And only the second team foul here in the third.
Reggie knows that was a good call. He patted Danny Crowder. There's no doubt about it. Indiana doing an excellent job on the offensive boards. They have 12 offensive rebounds to 6 for the Knicks. But the Knicks are doing a great job of making their first shots.
There's not a whole lot of offensive rebounds.
Absolutely.
Here's Starks, 10 to shoot. He wants a little help from Harper. Now Ewing posting up on Smits. They're letting him play. Ewing, baseline. Stolen by Oakley again.
Another bad pass down the middle of the floor to start the fast break.
Starks for 3, and he buries his 7th. One off the record set by Dan Marley in a playoff game.
We sound like a broken record. They make a great outlet pass. They get a great rebound, make the outlet pass right into traffic. Next thing you know, New York scores.
Workman saves it. Reggie looked at the 3, took a hop step. Smith whistled for the foul. That is number 4 on Charles Smith. The Knicks, who committed the 3rd most fouls in the NBA this year. Opponents shot 4 more free throws a game than they did. Mason is in the foul.
The Knicks play in peaks and valleys. In the second, they always give you a chance to come back in a game, just like they did in the 4th quarter the other day. But then you must continue your serve. And what you're hoping for here is that the people in the building will help you and it will crack them a little bit. Right now, you're only 8 points behind and you have the ball. Unfortunately, New York just gave you great defense and you had to waste the timeout because you could not inbound the pass.
That's a 20-second timeout charged to Indiana. They trail it by a 63-55, 4:56 left to play in the 3rd. Ewing and Smith were battling on the last trip down the court for New York, and they were letting them play a little more.
Yeah, well, see, earlier, Smith's fronted Ewing. This time, Ewing went away and came back. Now, you're going to see this. This is a nice extension. Now, they get the rebound. Unfortunately, you never start the fast break by passing the ball into the middle of the floor, because that's where all the defenders are who are going the other way.
Smith tries to take Ewing to the hole strongly. Ewing thought he got all ball, but we have a foul. But still, that's the first time in the last 2 games that Rick Smith has really tried to take Patrick off the dribble as he picks up number 3.
Well, you know, Patrick just does not have the mobility tonight. Now you're going to see a nice way. He's going to take a baseline and then come up under. There you go. Nice move.
Smith's 78% during the playoffs from the line. Now let's take a look at tonight's Chevy scoreboard. And it's action from last night as Chicago with Michael Jordan, the big night, evening that series up to 10 as they head back to the United Center in Chicago. Smith will have another.
Rick Smith's had his best year as a pro. He shot 53% from the floor, 75 from the line, averaged 18 points, and he did it all in only 30 minutes a game.
Crowd chanting defense. Pacers trail by 6, nearing 4.5 in the 3rd. Ewing wide open baseline over the outstretched hands of Smith.
Well, there's no way that Smith can be asked to trap the player coming over the pick and roll, and as Ewing spots up, then get back to you. There has to be another guy in the rotation here.
Somebody needs to help. Ewing with 9, whistle, Mason. The foul on him, his first, 4th team foul on the Knicks. Side out of bounds, Indiana.
You have to take it to the hole. You want to go to the hole strong. Get a chance to get to the foul line here on the next foul.
Smith's behind Ewing. They get it over to Antonio Davis. Short. The rebound, the putback. Miller won't go. Rebound. Oakley tipped it. Still loose. Last touch by Oakley. Indiana has the ball.
Hey, Reggie Miller gave you plenty of effort. Like we said, Reggie is over here right now talking about Delaney and saying, listen, I got hit on that shot. Where's the call? See, but in a game like this, you have got to go strong. You cannot assume that just a little body contact is going to get you a score. That's why once you penetrate and get in tight, you've got to either try to dunk or take it strong.
Now, Reggie Miller with 6 rebounds. He ties Rick Smith for the most rebounds for the Pacers. Whistle and a foul.
Now you got to like this. Now you're in the penalty. Now you've got something going for you. You make these two, you're only down 6. Now, since Haywood Workman has come in the game, he's done a terrific job defensively, and he's also gone to the hole strong, surprising Harper off the dribble.
Workman, who Larry Brown said had really no enthusiasm the first 3 months of the season, and he was very disappointed in Workman. Larry Brown said he just kind of kicked it in. And defensively, last year, he really made a name for himself in these playoffs.
Well, you know, last year, he started over 50 games here and made such a heavy contribution, and at playoff time was dynamite in all of the series from a leadership and defensive standpoint.
As the Indy 500 car sounds ramble around Market Square, ball belongs to the Knicks, 8 to shoot.
Now that was tough. That was a tough play for Stark because he goes strong. Just watch this drive. Starks feels he got hit out there, and he got hit right there.
Who had a choice? 4 to shoot. Starks on Miller. Gets him up in the air. Reggie Miller whistled for the foul. He cannot believe it.
He knew he fouled.
And that'll be 3 on Reggie Miller. Check that, 4 on Reggie Miller.
Now that shot clock was at 1 second.
Oh, that hurts.
Now just keep an eye. It's a nice fake by Starks to get him up in the air, and then he jumps into him to get the contact.
Reggie Miller yet to go to the line. This is Starks' first free throw of the evening. And he missed it. 73% during the playoffs, 74 in the regular season.
Now during the year, Starks was injured with a left shoulder separation. And this guy is a tough dude. And he played hurt for a long time. And he would not go to the basket because he was afraid of getting hit on that left shoulder. But we noticed in this playoff, look out, baby. He's going strong.
Now Smith's the double by Oakley. He turns away from it and buries it.
If they're going to win tonight, that's the man who's got to get it done. He's got to spearhead them in the post.
A 10-5 run by Indiana. We have a timeout. They trail by 4.
In this series, when you want to post up, you have to be able to take the physical punishment. Now just watch this. Now here you have your screen across, you get the bump with Mason, and then you get Patrick trying to fight over the top. See, you got to have a wide base. Now this guy is dynamite when he turns to the baseline. You have to remember, just a year ago, he had 27 a number of times in the series, and 2 years ago, he had 27 3 times in the New York series.
The Knicks have withstood every challenge Indiana has put on them. Starks, for the record, doesn't get it. Rebound, Indiana, 29 rebounds to only 16 for New York.
There is no reason why you should be away from John Starks in this game tonight.
I can't believe that
he's your man. That's right. You have to be hugging John Starks tonight.
McKee slipped, fell. That is probably some of the residue of the ice being thrown on the court as Oakley takes it to the hole. He's fouled hard by Haywood Workman. And Oak bounces right back up. Now here is a problem for New York.
Gave 2 shots. Now this is just a good hustle by Oakman. Getting out here and a hard foul by Haywood.
And Oakley will be at the line. The Knicks only 7 of 14 from the stripe, while Indiana 18 of 20. And Matt Riley told us today, that he was concerned about free throws, and right now they're not getting a lot, and they're also not making the ones they get.
Well, Pat said we have to be conservative in our turnovers. We must make our foul shots because it's a big road game, and then they're going to go at the 1 and 3 position, meaning the point guard and small forward. Now, they were successful early at the point guard, but then Haywood Workman has come in and has shut down the scoring at the point guard position. And then I think tonight that Derek McKee has really done an excellent job in holding his own against Charles Smith as well as Anthony Mason at that position. This guy just plays. That's all he does.
Lunch pail.
That's
lunch
right.
pail kind of guy.
He's out here, picks up all the garbage, gets out on the break. When nobody else has a shot, he spots up, drains it, and then he takes charges.
10th year pro to Virginia Union. Mason trying to root Rick Smits out of that left block. And Anthony Mason whistled for number 2.
Well, see, that's why it's so important. Watch him root him out. See? Now, it's so important that you get in the foul, the penalty situation early in the second half because of the consistency of just touching people in the low post.
2 of 3 from the line tonight for Smits. Mitchell comes in. McKee, who is still rather quiet, sits down. Only 6 points, all coming in the first half. Smits, who Larry Brown said has played very, very well against some of the major centers in the league this year.
He's coming on every season. When you think that, he increased his time 4 minutes this year, his points went up, his shooting, everything went up. That's great to see because he's a hard-working kid.
Mason gets away from Antonio Davis. Count the basket. We have a whistle.
When you tell your guys, when you coach at this level, you always tell them, if you're rotating, you've got to get the guy's arms before they get up above his shoulders. Now, just keep an eye on this. See, as Mitchell came across, the arms got up. And once the arms gets up above the shoulder, their upper body strength will just take you right to the basket. You got to get the arms down before they get up there.
250 solid pounds. Anthony Mason.
Bad foul shooter, though. A low 60% foul shooter. That's the only weakness in this guy's game, though.
Game 4 of this series will be Saturday. You'll be able to see it on NBC beginning at 3:30 Eastern Time. That should be a dandy. Oakley shows the double. This time when Smits turns, Ewing's there, but I think he grabbed him.
He did. He got him on a pull down. And that's great because now you're going to the line, shooting 2. Now, if you notice, the Knicks have changed their strategy on Smits. Before, they're allowing Patrick to play him straight up. As soon as that pass went in, Oakley was right down in there on that hard trap.
Well, you see the remaining games Saturday on NBC, then we'll bring you Game 5, Game 6, if necessary on TNT. Give you an eye will be there for those games as Ewing picks up his 4th. But he's getting the minutes that Pat Riley wanted as Herb Williams comes in, and Patrick's going to have to sit down.
Now, Herb Williams came in and made a major contribution in Game 2 because in 17 minutes, he not only got the rebounds, but he had 3 shot blocks, 3 crucial shot blocks.
He spent 7 years here at Indiana. Rick Smits 5 of 6 from the line. He has 13 in the ball game. And the Knick lead is down to 5.
When Herb Williams played here, he always averaged 15 to 17. Shot a high percentage, an excellent foul shooter, and one of the top shot blockers in the league.
Anthony's checked in for Harper. He forces the jumper, but he makes it. I don't know if Pat Riley passed out on that or not.
Pat Riley blew. He just went.
The moose dried up. 1 minute and 5 seconds left in the quarter. The lead is 7.
Oh, Oakley went in and double-teamed. Illegal defense. Sure, good call by Eddie Rush.
First of the ball game, ironically.
See, you can fake a pass in. Watch Oakley go on this fake. See, he went on. You're not allowed to double-team unless the ball is in there. So if you use some ball fakes, now you know that Oakley's coming quickly.
Well, after the disastrous 3rd quarter in Game 2, the Pacers much better tonight.
Yeah, but it's just slipped down to a -7 very quietly.
Very quiet, exactly like we said. Every time Indiana makes a run, New York maintains their composure and poise, and they withstand it. 9 to shoot for the Pacers. Let's see if they realize there's only that much time. Mitchell. From 17, the line drive won't find the net. Loose ball foul is going to be, I believe, on Antonio Davis.
Over the back.
That is number 1 on Antonio Davis. And the penalty is in effect. We'll go down to the other end and shoot it with 53.7 left. Knicks lead it by 7. Market Square Arena filled to capacity, 16,530 on hand for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals as the New York Knicks looking to make it 2 in a row to go up 2-1 on the Indiana Pacers. They lead by 7 inside of a minute in the third quarter. There you see Game 2 and what's happened tonight. Only 7 turnovers in this quarter.
The only problem is, though, that the Knicks are widening the lead.
Exactly.
You know, they're very quietly doing it. Indiana, they're not making their foul shots right now.
Hopefully 11 points in the quarter, too.
Yeah, plus they're not stopping them at the other end of the floor.
Oakley's been the mainstay for the Knicks in the third. Starks just tripped on Byron Scott's foot. And that is number 2 on John Starks.
But you have to love the job that the 2 guards, Starks and Hubert Davis, have done on Byron Scott. Byron Scott, coming into this game, was shooting 13% in the series. Now, when you think about that a second, he was only 1 for 8. He only had 8 shot attempts in 2 games. It's just that he cannot get any shot attempts.
He's 0 for 1 tonight from the field, and he's 2 for 3 now from the stripe. And that was one thing that Larry Brown talked about. He said that our bench was awful, and they need Byron Scott to remedy that fact, as Rick Smith will sit down.
Now, the reason why we bring this up, Byron Scott averaged 10 points a game for them during the year. He shot 46 from the field. He made 79 threes. He shot 39%, and then he made 85% of his foul shots. You know, this guy's been in. He's been in there. This is 13th playoff year. You can see his stats on the right side for the playoffs. But he is an experienced playoff guy that must come in scoring.
And he played, of course, for Pat Riley, who said the only thing we tell our players is don't let Byron Scott go right. He's a catch and shoot jump shooter, and keep him away from doing that. The lead is 8, 37 left to be played in the quarter. Starks gets a step. Oakley baseline. Rebound controlled by Davis. Outlet to Workman. Antonio Davis down in the blocks quickly. Workman doesn't see it. 4-second difference between the shot and the game clock.
Oakley did a terrific job in fronting Antonio Davis, so Workman could not make that pass.
Reggie Miller, Byron Scott trying to get away from Starks, loses the handle, ball loose. We're going to jump it up with 5.8, or did they call a timeout?
They called
a timeout.
And they've already used their 20, right?
That's exactly right. So now the Pacers only with 3 timeouts as we head to the final quarter. And will that cost them? We'll find out. 5.8 left in the third. We have a break in the action with the Knicks on top. Following Game 2, Larry Brown said he wasn't too excited to come back to Indianapolis the way his team performed in New York. Today, he told us he was excited. There was no pressure on him. And he really challenged his team following this morning's shoot-around about the effort. The effort from a number of his key players. But with 5.8 left, as Hubie has mentioned, despite the effort, they still find themselves down by 8, and the Pacers with only 1 second to shoot.
Now the Pacers only have 20 points in this quarter.
The lob, that'll be a shot clock violation. And with 4.2, the Knicks have the ball.
Give the Knicks credit. The Pacers only have 65 points. 24 in the first, 21 in the second, and 20 in this quarter.
Once again, the defensive presence by the New York Knicks. Number 2 in the league in points allowed during the regular season. Oakley, the baseball to start. He traveled with it. Said he dragged his foot. Bob Delaney will go the other way with it. And with 3.5, Indiana has a shot at the last basket of the quarter.
Now, there's plenty of time here. You make a catch, you can get off a minimum of 2 dribbles. So, especially if you make a pass across half court, you're in great shape. You can come out of this with a high percentage shot.
Miller back in the lineup, joined by Scott, McKee, Workman. Mitchell triggers the inbounds pass. He almost moved his pivot foot. There's the 2 dribbles, 3 dribbles. Workman at the buzzer, doesn't go. We have played 3 at Market Square Arena in Game 3. The Knicks have lost 8 of 9 Game 3s. But as they head to the final 12 minutes, New York find themselves up by 8, 73-65. The Indiana Pacers were only 11-22 during the regular season when they trail after 3, and they only scored 20 in the quarter, and they find themselves down by 8. The Knicks have the ball. Anthony, Starks, Mason, Williams, and Oakley for the Knicks. Mason trying to post on Davis. 9 to shoot. Oakley, 11 third-quarter points. 5 to shoot. Starks back to Oakley, lets it fly for 3! Charles Oakley with the 3, his second of the playoffs.
I mean, you just can't say enough, because Oakley and Starks have just put the dagger in the hearts of Indiana with few seconds on that clock, time and time again. But give the Knicks the credit that they don't force a bad shot inside the foul line area. They take their time and make the extra pass and hit the long jumper. The Knicks tonight are 9 for 15 on three-point shooting.
They have showed a great deal of patience in this ballgame offensively. Whistle and a foul, and the crowd is stunned. I think everybody really thought that Indiana will come out with a lot of emotion and a lot of execution, and it has been sporadic at best.
Well, they thought that they would see a better defensive job. Well, they are getting a pretty solid defensive job, except for the threes. So they're cutting them down from getting to the hoop, but they are being suffocated at the offensive end of the floor.
They're not getting anything from the small forward position. Only 6 points between Derek McKee and Sam Mitchell.
See, once again, Smits was wide open, and they went away from Smits. I don't understand it.
8 to shoot. Jackson, a lot of turnovers in this game. The 3 by McKee, and he drains it, and that is what Larry Brown was hoping for. His third 3 in the playoffs. He's now 3 of 6. Whistle, body contact underneath as Dale Davis just ran over John Starks. Now they're talking to Dale Davis.
Well, Dale Davis very seldom says a word during the course of the game.
Flagrant penalty 1.
Flagrant penalty 1 on Dale Davis.
That's a 2-shot foul and the ball on the side. Now keep an eye down inside now. You're going to see the, as he set the screen, as Stark set the screen, Dale Davis really blasted him.
Lowered the boot. Starks 0 for 3 from the stripe tonight, 0 for 4, and the free throw woes continue.
Now we're going to show you that play again, right in the lane. Watch the hit. That was a pretty hard hit, but you know, a lot of guys have been hit that hard tonight.
he's one of many.
We've seen that one going on.
3 fouls on Davis. Anthony with the ball. The fans just hoping something happens. Oakley misses, rebounds, Smits tips it to Davis. A lot of time left. This game far from over.
They get a hoop right now, everything will be fine. The building will erupt, go crazy. You give them the ball, the man is open.
Smits finally fouled by Williams as they did battle, but like we talked about in game 2, the same thing in game 3.
Now, when you're a post guy, you can't make them pass in basketball. All you can do is work hard. And when you're open, like right here, you see where he had him posted? He had him posted initially in the paint. You have got to get the post guys the ball when they're open in their high percentage areas.
Reggie in, John Starks out. Jackson fouled by Greg Anthony, who said he was putting his arm around him. But Anthony picks up number 3.
Now that's critical. That's the Knicks' 4th team foul. They should take it again right at them. There's the bump right there. That was a good call. They should take it right to the hole again. They'll be shooting the penalty with 10 minutes to go.
And that means a lot of points when the clock isn't running. Miller only 2 points in the second half after 16 of the first.
There it is, right there.
It is.
See, Pat Riley's going crazy right now. I mean, he's really letting Delaney hear about it. But Delaney is giving him a deaf ear because, once again, there it is. There's the handshake right in the middle of the stomach. And this is key. 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Shoot the penalty. It took just 1 minute and 48 seconds for Pat Riley's troops to pick up 5 team fouls. And that is Reggie Miller's first free throw attempt this evening. In game 1, Reggie had 11 free throw attempts without even shooting the ball. 15 total.
That's why when you're coaching in this league, you've got to understand the incredible advantage of the penalty shot.
Oh, yeah.
And whether or not you have an inside game, whether it's off the dribble or posting people up to get those necessary fouls.
It's a 5-0 run by the Pacers. Oakley lost the handle, regained 9 to shoot. 8 on McKee to the hole. McKee with a rejection, but he had a dribble.
That was a double dribble. Yeah,
they're saying that McKee hit it. That's why it wasn't a double dribble.
Larry Brown wanted a double dribble on the side. Everyone wanted the double dribble. But they gave it as a loose ball and then giving Oakley another attempt at the dribble.
McKee with a foul. We have a timeout. 9:42 left. Knicks by 6. And here's tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. Rebounds and forward.
Now, the rebounding is staggering. You can see Indiana with 13 offensive boards, but how about Indiana doubling the Knicks? But it's the field goal percentage which helps out there. Now, we're going to show you why this is not a double dribble. See, that was a fumbled ball. Now he still has his dribble here right now. And as he comes over, you're going to see he just blows by Derek McKee. Derek goes for the block. Gets the foul.
Oakley's 7th free throw attempt this evening. And he has made 6 of them. 21 points for Charles Oakley tonight. That would be a new season high. During the regular season, his best was 20.
Now, Oakley's had a very difficult year, missing 32 games because of the surgery to his toe. He's a frustrated guy right now, John Stark, because he's made all the threes, but he's missed his foul shots.
9:42 left. The Knicks lead it by 8. I think Doug Collins sent the fan that was sitting behind him last night in Orlando to Indianapolis to sit behind us. Inside, Davis uses his body, doesn't get it. Jackson, a nice touch pass, whistle, and a foul.
Great play by Mark Jackson.
Great hustle by number 1-3.
It's kind of disappointing, though, that Dale Davis did not get that one sent home. Now you're going to see it now. This is a nice pass down inside. Now you're going to watch this move. See, Patrick comes over, but still Dale never really exploded. And that was a great pass by Mark Jackson.
Jackson 3 of 3 from the line tonight. 5 for 7 in the playoffs. The foul was on Hubert Davis, his second. Jackson spent 5 years with the Knicks, a couple of years with the Clippers.
Well, Rookie of the Year, second year, All-Star player.
Ewing back into the lineup, tips it over to Mason.
He was a rookie, came out of St. John's. He averaged 10.6 assists a year, and that's where he broke Oscar Robertson's record for assists as a rookie.
Miller now on Davis, buying Stark some time on the bench. Shot clock reads 7. Tipped by Jackson. 3 to shoot. Ewing launches it from deep.
Oh, he buries it. My, oh my.
And it is a 2. What a shot by Patrick Ewing. The lead is back to 9. Another challenge being pushed aside by the Knicks.
Can they continue making that in the next 8:40? That's going to be a big key.
Smith backing in. Ewing. Whistle. Patrick got a hand on him.
Good call.
5 on Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, he was fouled. He was bumped hard that time. Pat Riley, you're going to watch it right now. Now, as he makes his move, see, boom, they gave it to him right there, and then the grab.
He's also on the arm. Now Charles Smith is going to come into the lineup at the next break as Patrick picks up number 5. Smith's at the line. Smith's now 5 of 7 from the stripe.
With this lineup, they'll either go with Oakley on Smith's, or they will put Mason on Smith's, but they will double quickly.
Numbers on Smith's in the ballgame. The lead is down to 8. 8:41 left to be played. The winner of this goes up 2 games to 1 in the best-of-7 series. With Game 4 Saturday at 3:30 here at Market Square.
High screen and roll.
Jackson looking for Smith. McKee knocks him down, then trips over him. Oakley over Smith. Doesn't get it. Rebound. McKee had it, lost it.
Wow.
Loose ball foul.
First of all, he was really up there. And that was a great attempt by McKee. I mean, he's up out there. Watch, see, he was down on the floor. He's up in traffic, and he was even knocked under. You could see the lower part of his body was pushed underneath.
And now Charles Smith called for number 5. So Ewing with 5, Smith with 5, Mason with 3, Anthony with 4.
Once again, NBA games, you've got to make your foul shots.
And McKee does it. He's 2 of 3 from the stripe tonight. Was 13 of 16 coming into the ballgame for the playoffs.
Right now, Larry Brown shaking his head because in the second half, they have definitely struggled on the foul line.
Smith is the only one that's done anything. He's 6 of 8 from the stripe in the second half.
Well, for the game, they're 10 for 17. Now they're screening down on both sides of the lane for Harper and Davis.
Double dribble. Good call, Eddie Rush.
Well, Harper let that settle. Yeah, he let that one settle, Ron. See, a lot of players in this league get away with that. Some guys cup it. Now keep an eye on the dribble here. Now you're going to see him now. See,
That's that left hand in there.
That's right. Derek. Some guys, rather than bringing it up, will cup it and then take it over the top.
7-point lead. Reggie, no room. Davis cuts him off. McKee. Smith tips it away. Davis comes up with a loose ball. The Knicks leading by 7.
What a beautiful steal that time by Charles Smith.
Playing with 5 fouls.
Yes, that was excellent anticipation.
Miller chasing Hubert Davis around. Hubert going the other way from the pick. Doesn't get it. Rebound right into the hands of Charles Smith. Smith with 12 in the game. Ups the lead back to 9.
Every time you think that Indiana will make a move, they falter and the Knicks come up big.
Jackson for 3. Rebound. Smith's had it. McKee had it. Oakley comes up with it.
This is smart. They're taking their time. They'll get it up in here.
Jackson called for the foul. That is number 3 on Mark Jackson.
That's their 13th foul.
And we have a timeout. 6:57 left to play in the ball game, and the Knicks lead it by 9. New York on a 5-0 run have opened up a 9-point advantage, 82-73. There's still a lot of time left, but this is almost do or die time for Indiana, is it not?
Well, I don't think so, Ryan. I mean, look, they were 33-8 during the year in this building. They won 2 games in the first series against the 35-8. If they lose tonight, it would be 35-9. Unfortunately for them, 3 of them would be to the Knicks.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's what you're alluding to, okay? But their offense is shoddy. They have absolutely no tempo going. There is no fluid movement, and if you notice, Reggie Miller is not even included in this offense right now. You've got to give the Knicks great credit for their hard, physical defense. And
technical foul on Derek Harper. He got into it with Workman. Let's see if they give it a double technical, and it must be, because they're going to bring it side out. Well, they're going to call it for taunting.
Double technical fouls on Derek Harper and Dale Davis.
Oh, Dale Davis gets it.
And there's plenty of time in this game right now, but you know, Indiana's got to have it at the defensive end. The Knicks have just been able to come down here, and they keep either getting fouled or they keep scoring.
And if the Knicks would make their free throws, they'd be so far ahead, it could get ugly. Indiana has only missed 7 of 34 attempts. The Knicks have attempted 21 and made only 11. Couple couple that with the Knicks shooting 54%, 9 of 16 on threes, and they've bailed out that poor free throw shooting. Anthony Mason with his first. He's 1 of 2.
You're down 10. You're in your own building. Smith, Miller, and McKee have got to get high percentage looks at this basket, and then they've got to make the shots. Then when you score, you've got to show why you are in the top 4 defensive teams in this league over 82 games. Field goal percentage against and points given up.
Reggie needs to get going. Only 1 of 4 in the second half after 8 of 12 in the first. Whistle and a foul, and this may turn into a free throw shooting contest.
As soon as that pass was made over the top of the player fronting Smith, Charles Oakley is down like a shot. Look at Mason. Now watch what happens as soon as Smith catches the ball. Oakley's right there. Right there. And that's tough to split a guy, 2 guys like Mason and Oakley because of the bulk factor.
The size of him. The block the sun.
But you're getting 2 freebies. It's happening quick. Very little time is running off the clock, but you must make the shots.
There you see the free throw situation. Smith's now 8 of 10 from the stripe, 16 in the ball game, cutting that Knick lead down to 84-75 with 6:22 left to be played.
Now they're using Mason's man down court to help out. Now Mason is an excellent dribbler. They're going right into Charles Smith. 2-man game here now.
He sets the pick, he rolls. Harper with 4 to shoot. Works on Workman, 2 to shoot. Puts it up. No, that did not hit anything. That should be a violation, and it is.
That's what you need.
1 stop.
Indiana needs a field goal so that the people will have a little faith that it can be done.
Still a lot of time left, as the Knicks found out in game 1 between these 2 teams. They're not going to rest until the whistle blows and the game's over. Miller goes baseline, kicks it back out to McKee. He'll launch the 3. Doesn't get the roll. Loose ball foul. And it's going to be on Dale Davis. That'll be number 4 on him.
Over the top. See, the Knicks are working hard in trying to block out right now. Indiana's had a field day in second shot opportunities. But in the second half, they're working to get better position.
At the line, it'll be Charles Oakley. Oakley 7 of 8 from the stripe tonight. This is his 9th free throw attempt. Only Smith has shot more. And he's only missed 1, which is the important stat. Antonio Davis in, Dale Davis out. Mark Jackson continues to sit. Workman getting the bulk of the playing time right now at the point guard for Indianapolis. The lead's 10, 5:40 left to play.
Bringing Reggie Miller right up the middle of the floor.
Only his 5th shot attempt of the second half to no avail.
Air ball that time. That was forced in traffic. They tried to bring him right up the middle of the lane.
Harper, beautiful roll to Oakley. Smith wide open for the jumper. Doesn't get it. Rebound controlled by Miller. Up court to McKee, to Workman, to the hole. Finger roll, Haywood Workman.
Nice outlet, beautiful pass by McKee, and a fine finish by Workman.
The fans looking for something to cheer about. Harper is fouled, and it'll be on Haywood Workman.
Both teams shooting the penalty.
3 on Workman, and Starks checks back into the lineup. Hubert Davis sits down. Don't forget, coming up next, we have the Houston Rockets and the Phoenix Suns from America West. Gary Bender, Jack Gibbons standing by for that ball game. It'll be coming your way in just a couple of minutes as Charles Smith will sit down and Patrick Ewing comes back into the game. Ewing with 11 points so far this season. Quiet offensively.
Throughout Harper's career, he's always been a very solid free throw shooter, 75%. And then he's one of the fellas that have that unique distinction that during his first 8 years in the league, he made a point improvement from season to season.
7 straight years.
He played on those great Dallas teams that Dick Motta had.
Antonio Davis trying to bump into Oakley. Oakley does not move, but he does pick up his 4th personal foul. So Oakley with 4, Ewing with 5, Smith with 5, and Mason with 4. And still 4:39 left to be played. Antonio Davis, 7 for 9 tonight from the stripe.
Well, you know, basically, he's really not a solid free throw shooter. A year ago, he shot 64. This year, 67. This year, his minutes increased, but we told you that he did miss 38 games with an operation on his back.
8 of 10 tonight from the stripe, and he has cut the Knicks lead down to 8. And the Indy 500 sounds return to Market Square. Harper trying to take Workman. Starks. Miller doesn't bother fake. Mason inside between the legs. Starks with 3 to shoot. Doesn't get it. Smith keeps it alive for the Pacers. Whistle, blocking foul. Starks went for the steal. Picked up the foul instead.
He went for the steal because he thought Reggie was going to go with a high dribble. He gambled that time. But, you know, you wish that you had it back. You know, but you see, John went for the steal right there, thinking that it was gone, but Reggie had the presence to pull it into his body. The reason why you don't like that, you would tell Starks, look, it's got to be a definite gimme. You're putting one of the premier foul shooters in this league on the line. You're talking high 80s, 88, 89, year in and year out.
Just a short clip under 90 this year. He's 100% tonight. 22 points for Reggie Miller. And the Knicks lead by only 6. Plenty of time left. Harper sees the double. Swing it across to Ewing. Oakley doesn't take it.
Now they have plenty of time. That's good reading of the clock.
Mason, touch pass. Harper falling away. Doesn't get the roll. Ewing can't tip it home. Coming out of the pack is Charles Oakley.
Oh, that's untouched. Right, that ball went right out of Antonio Davis's hand.
Riley yelling instructions. Harper spending some time.
Oh,
they've got Ewing. And he is gone.
They get the call.
6 personal fouls on Patrick Ewing. Fouling out with 3:33 left in the game.
Now just watch Patrick move here. Right there. See, and that was an excellent move by Workman. Keep an eye on it now. See, Workman was fighting him right out over the top.
Patrick only 11 and 3 tonight in 32 minutes.
They score now, this building will go bonkers.
Oh, it's going to go crazy.
It's a clear out for Reggie. Oh, nice.
Off the dribble, off the dribble.
Whoa, what a move!
Spectacular move by Reggie Miller. And John Starks calls a timeout. Listen to him at Market Square.
Now just keep an eye on Reggie Miller as he dribbles by Starks, how he knifes between the 2 rotating guys. Here comes Oakley to take the charge. Now watch. And then the parallel move off the glass. Spectacular.
Well, Indiana on a 6-0 run the last 127. Charles Smith told me today he felt this game would be a game of runs. It is again tonight as the Knicks 4-12 without a field goal.
Well, he told you earlier in the quarter, the one thing that Indiana had in their favor was that the Knicks let you back. They have that tendency to do that. They play in peaks and valleys, but you must take advantage of them letting you back.
Way the mark for Charles Oakley. Indiana with the ball, trailing by 4. New York has now gone over 4.5 minutes without a field goal. Their last one came at 7:24.
Well, if you notice, near this time period, Ron, they went away from their inside game. Everything has been perimeter. Now, right now, Indiana, they just ran Reggie around the stagger. That floor is slippery right there.
Because that's the second player that has slipped on that.
We've had 3 guys go down in that same spot. And whatever that is, they've got to work on that section of the floor for Saturday's game. Now just watch, he has his guy beat, but he goes down. Scott went down, and also one of the Knicks went down in that same spot. It's just a great move by Smith.
Mason picks up his 5th. Smith with his first. 11 free throw attempts, and the Knicks have a few in foul trouble with Patrick Ewing already on the bench.
Well, Smith and Mason are critical.
9 of 12 from the line for Rick Smith. 17 points, but more importantly, his team is down by just 3.
High screen and roll.
Oakley was open for a second.
Let's see, Starks is coming off that screen too early.
Smith battles his way in. Loose ball picked up by Workman.
Oh,
Pacers
3 on 2.
with the Miller. Doesn't get it. Mason, the loose ball.
And
out of bounds. Loose ball fouls. Dan Crawford who also takes a hit on the play. Great hustle on part of both the blue and the white.
Give the Knicks credit for that transition defense. What a great defensive move here. They forced. Now just watch here. Starks goes right up. No foul. Reggie just leaves that one short.
And Smith playing with 5 fouls. Kicks it out. Mason fouled by Antonio Davis. His second. And at the line it will be Anthony Mason. 2 of 3 tonight from the strike.
Now naturally that was a 3-point game. They make the layup. You're only down 1.
Mason only 64% during the regular season.
Big thing right now, Indiana cannot allow an offensive rebound by the Knicks if Mason misses his shot. New York 18 for 30 on the foul line. Have missed 12.
Just a reminder, don't forget, the Rockets and the Suns will be coming up next on TNT, but we've got a dandy. It's New York by 4, heading into the final 2 minutes.
Now they're posting Derek McKee against Charles Smith.
Smith has him hooked, no foul. Adam hooked with the left arm. We've got a whistle and a grab.
Oh, they got a good cut, and Delaney had that one all the way. Now keep an eye on this nice move. It's a great move. It's a great move by Reggie Miller, and you can see that he stumbled because he got hit. Now Charles Smith is out of the game because that's his 6th. They're bringing in Herb Williams now.
Ewing out, Smith out, Mason playing with 5. And at the line it will be Derek McKee.
See, Charles Smith honestly did not think that he fouled him. But the referee on this side of the floor had a perfect look at Charles Smith stepping out and Reggie staggering.
McKee now 4 of 5 from the line.
Timeouts, New York with 3 fulls and a 20. Indiana, 2 fulls.
The lead is 2, and will that timeout that Indiana called early come back to haunt them? They are standing at Market Square. Whistle, foul on McKee. That is number 4 on Derek McKee.
They'll call that because they've been calling it all night. Anytime that you just put a hand on a guy, it's automatic hand check. Big thing right now is Mason has got to make his foul shots.
The struggle continues.
You can't go anywhere. If he shoots and misses, you must block out. No excuses now for not getting the rebound. Missed.
A bad miss. Right. Indiana with a chance to tie or even take the lead. They're down by 2, 1:35 left to play.
Now they're screening, bringing Smiths around a staggered screen into the bump. Now Pete.
Workman, the off-balance shot.
Dead shot. Smiths had his man fronting him. That's your first option.
Knicks have showed patience every time this situation has come up in this game. 8 to shoot. Harper glances at the clock.
Can't let him turn the corner here.
2 to shoot. Lost the handle. Ball belongs to Indiana with 58.1 left to be played in the ballgame.
You don't want to use one right now. You want to run your play. Now you got to get Smiths involved here, along with Reggie Miller. That last time, now they're bringing Reggie off with a screen down right here. It's a clear out.
Miller to the hole with the right hand, doesn't get it. The tip won't go. Out of bounds. Pacers have it. 37.2 left in the game and a fresh 24.
Now Reggie blew right by his man. He had a great one-on-one move that time. Blew and got into the lane. Unfortunately, Indiana could not put that rebound down.
Knicks lead by 2, 37.2 left. If you're hoping to see Houston and Phoenix, that'll be coming up next in just a couple of minutes. New York has not had a field goal the last 7 minutes. You'll be after leading by 10 with 4:39. And Indiana on a 9-1 run.
Well, right now, Indiana only has 1 timeout left. You have 24 seconds on the shot clock, and you're running an out-of-bounds play underneath. You're hoping that you get a good look and a score on this out-of-bounds play, because then you would be in a possessions 2 for 1. Big thing now is you do not want to waste a lot of time.
Smith, one dribble, the shot, and we're tied.
It's his shot. Where have you been, Big Hollander? The Big Hollander's saying, I can't shoot unless I get the ball.
And our Dutch boy in the paint ties it up. Our first tie since 33-33. One more time, Rick.
Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios. They have tipped off at America West, the Rockets and Suns game 2. We'll bring you that in just a couple of minutes. First, got the unfinished business at Market Square. 88 apiece, 34 seconds to go. Ron and Hubie back at Market Square.
We are tied at 88, 34 seconds left.
Right now, Indiana has 1 timeout, New York 2 and a 20. New York is going to advance the ball a half court. Now, you know John Starks loves to be in these plays. They like the post Mason, believe it or not. They have confidence in Mason, but John Starks is usually involved in something here. Now, it looks like they're going to screen down to bring Harper to the ball. Remember, the Knicks have 2 timeouts and a 20.
Everybody standing. Mason triggering the inbounds pass.
Knicks playing with 3 guards out there now. Hubert Davis, Harper, and Starks.
Ewing and Smith are fouled out.
Screen and roll.
Starks inside.
Mason.
Oakley runs over. Offensive foul. Charles Oakley. My goodness.
Great play by Dale Davis. Just a terrific defensive play. He cut off the lane. Now keep an eye. Now watch him come across now. He steps right in. First Workman. Oh, that's great.
Haywood Workman takes the charge.
How could I mistake?
Dale Davis. We're going to check our glasses before we head back to Atlanta tomorrow.
Now there's 17 seconds here. Now they know right now they blew that one. The big thing right now is, remember, Indiana has 1 timeout left. They have 17 seconds. Larry Brown had plenty of time to make the call. Now they're going to screen right here for Reggie Lewis on the right side. They have here it is right here. Now they're going to clear out. Here comes Smith underneath.
Miller for the win! No! And we are going to overtime. Boy, did he have a look at it. It looked like it was going to hit nothing but the bottom of the net. a little too strong, and we're into OT. Indiana, an 11-1 run the last 4:39. The Knicks without a field goal, the final 7:24. And that is why we are headed to OT, tied at 88.
Now keep an eye on this. Now watch Smith's coming in on the baseline. Reggie decided to take it himself and go with the jump shot.
Before we send you to Houston and Phoenix, we have 5 extra minutes at least to be played. New York and Indiana tied at 88. Now they will shoot the penalty after the 4th team foul. Both teams will begin this overtime period with 3 timeouts. And here's the foul trouble tonight.
Now Davis with 5. At the other end, Ewing and Smith have fouled out. Mason and Oakley with 5.
And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar back in our studio. Pat Riley wants to know if you have any eligibility left.
With this Knick group out there right now, they will post up Mason. Mason will be their key guy down inside offensively. They've gone back to the big front line. You have Mason, Oakley, and Herb Williams out there. They're bringing McKee into the post. They have a triangle here. They're going the opposite side now.
Mason was fronting McKee. Now McKee pops out with 6 to shoot. McKee for 3. Last touch by Mason. Got a piece of it. An 11-1 run by Indiana. New York, their last field goal was at the 7:24 mark of the 4th. Harper ends the drought. A big shot, Derek Harper.
That was interesting because they cleared up the entire side and allowed him to go one-on-one.
Only his 2nd field goal of the ballgame.
Now they screen down on the right for Reggie, and they're bringing Smits to the ball on the ball side. There's a here screen and roll.
And Williams with the touch foul, and Herb Williams now with 4 personal fouls.
Now you can see that they are so concerned with Reggie that any time that he dribbles the basketball, they have 3 guys on him. Phoenix out to a quick start again tonight, 12-5.
They're tough. Lob it in to Smits. Stolen by Harper. He has a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Starks, Mason, Harper for 3! Miller takes it away from Oakley. You can't fault Reggie Miller's effort tonight.
Reggie Miller's been all over the place. Told you he was the leading rebounder at halftime with 5.
Workman facing up.
It's just taking them a long time to get into their offense.
Hayward Workman. Tied at 90. We play just over a minute and a half of overtime.
Now they're bringing Mason to the ball. They come on this side. They screen down for Stark. High screen and roll.
Miller buys the fake. Starks launches. Doesn't get it. McKee the rebound. The Pacers can take the lead for the first time since they led 2-0.
Well, they're clearing out for Dale Davis.
Ron Oakley lost the handle. He threw it away. Lost the handle on the way up.
You know, when you're running a team, you have to know who you want to clear out. Okay?
Hayward Workman whistled for the foul. That is number 4 on Workman.
Each team has 1 foul. We shoot the penalty on the 4th foul. High screen and roll in the middle of the floor.
Workman slips right through it. Starks down the lane to Mason. The reverse shot. No! Rebound. Miller comes out of the pass. And then he just lost the handle. Reggie Miller took his eyes off what he was doing, and it just rolled out of bounds.
Now they have 3 turnovers in this overtime. Larry Brown can only smile because if you get upset about this, you'll have an ulcer by the end of this game.
If he doesn't have one already.
3 turnovers, and we've only played less than 3 minutes.
Mason walked with it. We're going to go the other way. And the Knicks have committed 17 turnovers.
All right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll call the game off, tie, all right?
Okay.
And then we'll play tomorrow. Because right now, both teams are throwing the ball around. This ball is precious. This is like a bar of gold.
Who wants it? And Indiana would have to, I mean, they're facing a 2-1 deficit then if they lose this. Final 2 minutes. McKee to the hole. Strong move, Derek McKee.
Well, that's Larry Brown's thing with Derek McKee. In this series, he wants him to go strong off the dribble. Trying to pop Starks out.
Williams sets the pick. Williams doesn't buy the fake. Shot, no good. Rebound, Reggie Miller.
Who is that guy? Who's that new rebounder for Indiana?
11 rebounds for Reggie Miller, which would be a new season high.
There it is now.
Smith with the right hand. Timeout, New York.
Look at it. He never even looked at the rim. Just a beautiful move. The young man really has an excellent hook shot, high percentage all the way.
Ernie Johnson back at you from Atlanta. A reminder still to come. It is Game 2 of the Houston-Phoenix series, and right now 21-11 is the Phoenix lead. KJ has 9 at this point. Indiana 94-90 over New York in overtime. Let's go back to Market Square Arena.
Thank you, Ernie. Indiana on a 6-0 lead, and I think the story for New York is John Starks' 21st half points shooting, but only 1 of 6 in the second half, only 3 points.
The Knicks have only scored 17 points since the end of the third quarter. They had 73 at the end of 3. The score was 73-65.
See if they can get John Starks involved in the offense. In case you just joined us, Patrick Ewing out, Charles Smith out, fouling out of the ball game for New York.
Now the Knicks have gone to 3 guards. They're playing Harper as a small forward. Larry Brown has counteracted that by bringing in Byron Scott.
Starks to the hole, rejected by Davis. Ball's loose, here comes Workman out of the pass. Pacers with the ball, the lead. Miller dribbling away from Harper.
Now Indiana has taken Smiths out, matched the Knicks. Small. 3 small guards out there right now. Here's your second cutter.
Miller to the hole! Reggie Miller, my goodness! Unbelievable! He has taken the apple out of his throat and slammed the ball down.
And he's the second cutter off of that screen. Now just watch this. Send it down. Now just watch on the screen and roll. Dale Davis will step out as Starks gets the step. Now once he makes his move, Dale Davis comes right behind him and gets the shot block right there. An incredible play by Dale Davis. And then here's your second cutter off of the screen. There it is right there, and that's sending it home with style.
26 points, 11 rebounds. The Knicks have lost 8 of the last 9 Game 3s, including last year Game 3 to Indiana, the year before that Game 3 to Indiana. And that string is about to continue unless the Knicks can do something in the next 41.8.
With all these guards out there, you have to protect against the three-point shooting.
Hopefully, no place to go, Hubie.
Well, we all know that in basketball, in professional basketball, the toughest play is inbounding the ball with all of this pressure, and then you must get it to the front court. And if the defensive team switches and switches on all of the cutters coming out, it makes it so difficult. The big thing right now for Larry Brown is that they do not want to give up a 3. So there is no reason for a guy leaving his man to pick up a guy going to the basket. New York thinking, listen, we want to score quickly. So what we want to do is get it to the hole, quick score, and there would still be 35, 36 seconds here.
Starks lets it fly for three, doesn't get it. Oakley, yeoman's effort, tries to make the save to no avail.
See, when you look for the three right away and you miss it, now when they inbound, the Knicks will foul, and then as soon as they foul, you have a chance to take the lead to 7 or 8.
Now, Indiana with a four-guard offense as Jackson checks in.
Well, they're getting in all their good fouls.
Stolen, Harper, count the basket, my goodness.
What an incredible, you can't pass the ball under the rim.
Workman is going to be fouled on the play. They used to call Derek Harper thief in Dallas.
Well, I tell you, Ron, that's just bad basketball. You're taking the ball out of bounds. You have 3 timeouts left. You never throw the ball underneath. Now that ball went right through his hands, okay? And then he picks it up. And just watch, the ball goes right off of his hands. Boom, Harper takes it and lays it up. If there's any question at all, you call a timeout.
Foul was on Harper, his third. Starks hits it off the foot. Unbelievable of Reggie Miller. And the lead is just 4. Plenty of time left.
This is absolutely incredible. Now the Knicks, there's 31 seconds to go. You're only down 4. Now just keep an eye on this. See, Starks got his hand in, knocked the ball down right off Reggie Miller's foot.
31 seconds left. The Knicks with only 1 timeout left in the game. Harper for 3! My goodness!
Getting the ball in now. You're in a 1-point game here with 22 seconds.
Workman dishes off. He is going to be fouled with 18.1 left on the game clock, 18 on the shot clock.
Let me tell you something. This is bad clock management, okay? I hope you understand that. Now, right now, you're going to see they take the 3-point shot right here. Harper's talking. Workman is laying off. Now, once he gets the screen, see, they don't step up. Well, you've got to step up. How can you lay off soft on Derek Harper? Now, this puts a lot of pressure on Workman. Remember, the Knicks have 1 timeout. Indiana is still sitting on 3.
Workman 2 of 3 from the line.
Pat Riley wants a timeout after the shot. Knicks, if he misses, you have got to block out and get this rebound.
He doesn't miss. The lead is 2 by Indiana. Pat Riley uses his final timeout.
Now you look at the other end of the floor. Workman misses an inbound pass. Harper catches it, layup. Reggie Miller catches an inbound pass. Starks hits it off his foot out of bounds. 2 turnovers.
EJ, back at you. Lest you forget, Houston and Phoenix still to come tonight on TNT. Right now a 31-18 Phoenix lead over the Rockets late in the first quarter. The Knicks and the Indiana Pacers are in overtime. A 2-point Indiana lead, 18.1 to play. Don't touch that dial. Ron and Hubie.
And if you do touch the dial, we'll send Ernie to your house. 5 turnovers in overtime for the Pacers, 25 for the ball game.
All right, now right now the Pacers have only committed 1 foul. You do not shoot the penalty, meaning the Knicks, until it's the 4th foul. But now we're inside of 2 minutes, so it would be a foul. Right now, a lot of guys, you've got to have a philosophy. Some guys would say, I'm coming down the floor and I'm shooting a 3 to win this game because we're on the road. It will depend upon the philosophy to go. The big thing is to get a high percentage shot here. The high screen and roll, they're letting him go one-on-one.
Harper doesn't get it. Rebound. The Pacers had it and regain it, but it's once more.
1.4 seconds.
Oh, my goodness. 1.4. Bob Delaney now going over to the officials to see if they're going to add any time to it.
The Knicks have no timeout. With 1.8 now, they just made it 8. You cannot let a guy catch a lob in front of the rim right now. You've got to belly up on your man, play the guy out of bounds. Do not let him make an uncontested pass.
Oakley doesn't get it. The Pacers have come back to win. Pacers win. will go down as one of the great comebacks, UB.
Well, I mean, come on. The turnovers were incredible, which allowed the Knicks to come back. And then, even then, they never challenged the inbounds pass. They threw the ball over Dale Davis's head, and they almost end up with a good look on that last shot.
Well, our Budweiser player of the game is a man that had 16 first-half points. 10 in the second half. He has a career playoff high, 11 rebounds. Reggie Miller of Indiana, our Budweiser player of the game tonight, as the Indiana Pacers win it 97-95. Game 4, Saturday afternoon. You'll be able to see it on NBC.